Hey, welcome back to another News in General live stream. I'm Cole Kruper, hosting tonight's stream, and with us tonight is Jason Goyette, the owner of News in General. I'm the co-owner of News in General. You can follow me on Twitter at CK270, or you can follow Jason on Twitter at Jason Goyette. Tonight we got a whole bunch of things to look at, like Black Friday madness of last week, or it was last week, right? Yeah. Madness that always ensues come Black Friday, right after Thanksgiving. And of course, we're going to be looking at First Amendment zones, your free speech zones, and just how terrible those are. And we're going to be looking at a few other stupid city ordinance, like how you get a $600 fine and 30 days in jail if you raise chickens in your backyard, and how you get a $115 ticket if you spit on a sidewalk or in a bus area or any public area for that matter.
You get a good loogie going.
Yeah. Don't spit on the sidewalk now.
Yeah.
Yeah, soon it'll be illegal to spit on your own driveway.
Insanity.
So let's kick this thing off with how a man faces 30 days in jail and a $600 fine if convicted for raising chickens. Leo Hendrick is a veteran living in Northwood, Iowa. According to the city, he's violating a city ordinance that bans its residents from raising livestock in the city. The city ordinance that Hendrick is violating states it is unlawful for a person to keep livestock within the city except by written consent of the council or except in compliance with the city's zoning regulations. And that's Northwood City Code Section 55.05. Hendrick moved to Northwood 5 years ago, hoping to lead a healthier life and to become more self-sufficient. Hendrick was doing a pretty good job of just that, growing and raising his own food, almost self-sufficient in terms of food by planting a small garden in his yard and raising small animals such as chickens and rabbits. Now, when the city found out about his backyard chickens, the sheriff's deputy was sent to his door with a letter demanding that the animals be removed from the property within 10 days. After that, Hendrick presented an amendment version of the ordinance to City Council, which currently prevents him from raising chickens, but that was denied. Even though he did have support from various neighbors, he was told that he should just fit into society, according to StoryLeak.com. Now, neighbors weren't bothered by the fact that he was raising chickens and rabbits in his backyard, so why should the city care? Yeah, I understand they got this dumb ordinance, which is just that dumb, very, very dumb. If the neighbors don't care, I don't think that the city should be making a big deal out of it. If the neighbor's okay with it, then fine. Let him raise his backyard chickens. Let him raise his let him grow his garden, let him raise his chickens, let him raise his rabbits. With all the GMO you got in today's food, all the unhealthy stuff you got in today's food, the stuff that he had and probably still has is probably better for you than anything you'd find at your local grocery store. You know, chocked full of all these wonderful chemicals that, if you did any research, would probably find that are carcinogens and will kill you.
Oh yeah. Hey, I got a question now. Are they doing anything about the rabbits, or is it just the chickens itself?
Well, I would imagine probably the rabbits too, because if you go back to the city ordinance, it states it is unlawful for a person to keep livestock, that's keyword, within the city except by written consent of the council or except in compliance with the city's zoning regulations. Obviously, the council doesn't want them raising chickens. I wonder why.
And also, I want to make it clear that an ordinance, a city ordinance, doesn't mean if you break that ordinance or whatever, doesn't mean you broke a crime, right? Am I correct?
No, yeah, it's not necessarily a crime.
Or you committed a crime.
Yeah, it's just basically a law within the city.
Yeah.
You know, unless the,
so what's interesting is he could get put in jail if you break the city.
Yeah, I've never heard of an ordinance that does that before.
So I thought if you do commit a crime, then you get put in jail. Not a city ordinance. City ordinance is you get a fine, like you said earlier.
Even the $600 fine, even if they didn't have this 30-day thing, and honestly, this will probably just get dropped anyways. I'm hoping it does.
Oh yeah, me too.
Like, first of all, the guy's a veteran, he serves for your country, and then we're gonna give you this and that. Oh, we're gonna throw you in jail too.
Because that can also say, is this like a thing where it's like a corporate thing or like a government thing or a conspiracy thing where they're like, oh, we don't want people to be self.
Well, is it a corporate thing? It could be. Just think about this, Jason.
He's growing his own food basically and not spending money on the food that the supermarkets provide.
When you start growing your own food, you're right. If you do become self-sufficient, you have no need to go to any grocery store to buy any of their food.
Yeah,
and that means they're not making enough money. Now, if this trend were to pick up, let's say none of these stupid ordinances or laws or anything didn't exist anywhere, and this trend did gain a little bit of traction. And if a whole bunch of people started doing this, that could be a huge hit to the grocery industry because now they're losing money. All their customers are not coming back to the stores. Instead, they're buying chickens, putting them in their backyards, and planting their own food.
Because I mean, once you see somebody doing that, once you see somebody being healthy and growing their own food and stuff, you kind of want to do that too. You want to give it a try and see if you can do it because you can see that person living happier or healthier lifestyle. You want that too. Yeah. So it's kind of like, well, maybe the corporate world or whatever, the government doesn't want people to see that, so they punish the guy for what he's doing. That way people don't see what he's doing and try to do it themselves.
I've actually thought about growing some food too. I thought about growing watermelons.
Oh, yeah, I did that. I had a garden all my life. I had a garden. Yeah. I had chickens. I had turkey. Guinea hens. I had geese. Everything. Yeah.
And I see nothing wrong with that. It sounds wonderful.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun.
I know what I want to do one day. I want to go grow watermelons for some reason.
Watermelon.
I do. I just want watermelons for some reason.
One question, or one thing with watermelons, if you're really interested in that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is if you're in a really like if you're in Florida or like in a southern area where there's like really hot temperatures, they can rot really easy. The sun can really get at them like really bad, and sometimes you'll see sunspots on them. Basically, one side will be like really yellow, and then you flip around, and the other side will be like really green.
Oh, is that why that happens in the stores?
Yeah.
I've always wondered. I'm looking at watermelon in the stores, and they're all yellow on one side.
So try to get your watermelons, plant them in like a shady area, but not to where it's like totally no shade at all, but just a little bit of shade. That way the sun isn't really on it all the time.
So it's not like the sun's not on it all day long, is what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly.
So, well, there you go. If, anyone that's watching, there's
little gardening tips from Jason.
There you go. We're growing watermelons.
Yeah.
And did we share this on Twitter?
Yeah, I shared it out already, both
all right, perfect.
And Facebook.
But
so thank you, one viewer, for watching. It's probably Anthony or Mark Heider.
Yeah. But this guy, I'm sorry, but come on, there's nothing wrong with what he was doing. The only time I can see the city stepping in, and this I could understand, is if the neighbors were making a big deal on it. The neighbors were like, no, I want nothing to do with this. I want it down here. It's bothering me. It's annoying me, or whatever. Okay, fine, let's look at this. And then you look at it and see if the neighbor's just being a jerk or if he does have a legitimate concern.
Exactly. But like I said, it goes back to that thing where I said about, the neighbors might want to start doing this too. What if they start doing it? And also to mention, does he have a big yard? Like, it's not out in the city where he's like got his freaking chickens on top of his roof or
I don't think you necessarily need a huge yard for anything like
that. Yeah. I mean, how many chickens or rabbits could he have? He also has a garden as well, I believe.
Mm-hmm. But
so, I mean, if he lives in a big old neighborhood where there's like freaking a half an acre to one house or something,
Even if it was on his roof, though. Even if it was on its roof, what would be the issue?
If they're in cages, none.
There you go. If there weren't and they were walking off the roof.
Yeah, exactly. that would be an animal rights issue.
Yeah, animal rights issue, and obviously, the cruelty. Then then you would be breaking the law.
Yeah, animal cruelty. Yeah.
There you go. But that's just the way I see it. This guy. I hope he doesn't get charged, and I hope he is able to continue what he's doing. And if he isn't able to, maybe he'll think about getting out of there. But I'd like to see if that city's gotten any corporate donations recently.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Maybe we should do some research into that. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe get a little bit of Alex Jones going on.
It's like everything.
Get over in front of their building with a microphone and freaking have them around you.
No more lives. But think about this, Jason.
Yeah.
We don't necessarily have bribery now. It's called donations. Everything.
Yeah.
You want the government to do something? Don't vote. Yeah. Donate.
Exactly. And that's
everything is a donation.
A lot of people aren't realizing that. They're seeing these big-time politicians or whatever donating thousands and $100,000 or whatever. And they're just like, oh, he's so nice. And then, he goes back in his, back office and makes a whole bunch of scams and sells guns.
We are going to help the everyday citizen of whatever country, insert any country. And then, and then the next day, we will be instituting corporate tax breaks for all large companies. They will be slashing all the taxes. Raising the taxes on the middle class.
Yeah, we'll donate money to bail you out, if you're in debt.
Yeah, exactly. But, if you go bankrupt, they're not going to help you.
Yeah, you're going to lose your house, you're going to lose your car, your job.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe your family, your wife,
you lose your small business.
What the hell?
But,
Cole, we got that's what that video I got to do. The microphones are listening to us up there.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
No,
I
let's not
forgot about
talk. Let's
that.
not talk about it on the live show now. Let's do it later
Yeah, yeah.
on. Yeah,
Anyways,
yeah.
moving on. I think everyone understands. We think there. Jason, you
Oh, yeah.
had something else to say?
No, I said everything I had to say with that one.
Right on. Okay.
Complete bullshit.
There you go. See, nice and blunt, straightforward. Now, why can't
Right there.
politicians do that instead of using big fancy words no one understands?
And move their hands around like they're freaking an orchestra or something.
Yeah, I do that too.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Not anything against the Italians out there, because I know they love to do their hand moving and all that.
I like it too. I think it,
yeah.
like when you're explaining something that gets your point across.
It gets your point across, exactly.
Yeah, sure, it exercises my hand too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, moving on. Spitting on the sidewalk, now a crime, somewhat. Imagine this. You're walking down the sidewalk to get some pizza, and at some point you have to spit. You do that and you move on, and now normally that would be the end of it. You never ever think about it again. But Miles Thomas did exactly that. He spat on the sidewalk on his way to get some pizza, along with his friends, but after he spit, things took an unexpected turn. Police officers gave him a $115 ticket for spitting on the sidewalk. That's correct. Spitting is now a crime in Minneapolis. A city ordinance states you can't spit on sidewalks, bus areas, or in public areas, and if you do so anyways, violating the ordinance, a $115 ticket is what you'll get. And the guy, Thomas, told CBS Albany that I was shocked. I actually was shocked. I was like, wow, I think everybody would be shocked at this, getting a ticket for spitting. Evaporate, or in this case, freeze in the snow. So it's not really a problem to anybody.
Yeah.
He says he'll pay the ticket, and the reason, and I said this here, but although it's a stupid ordinance, fighting it kind of would be a waste of time, because would he really win it? Yes, it's a stupid ordinance and it shouldn't exist, but as far as I'm concerned, it should not exist. But fortunately, he's gonna pay it. But what is the problem with spitting on the sidewalk? Do you see a problem with that, Jason?
The only problem I could see is if there's like some type of virus breakout or some type of really bad, virus or some type of bug out there, and spreading germs everywhere and stuff like that wouldn't help. So I mean, maybe it spreads by that. Maybe.
Well, sneezing should be a crime too, then, Jason.
Oh yeah, because you do. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Coughing should be a crime.
Yeah.
Existing should be a crime, because you spread diseases and illnesses by
Mother
existing.
Nature. We gotta arrest Mother Nature. She's a crime as well.
Hey, those viruses, she created them. She needs to be arrested.
Yeah. She rains on us. That's spit. That's Mother Nature's
there you go.
right there.
Yeah, I mentioned that to him before we started, but you see, I see your point there. I think maybe they want you to think this, but just about everything we do can spread diseases. Touching things will spread diseases and illnesses. Sneezing does. So you're not allowed to touch anything. That should be a crime. Sneezing should be a crime. Coughing should be a crime.
Yeah. I'm arrested right there.
No. Yeah. Jeez. You coughed. Terrible. Like you're in a house, but still.
I probably owe $1 million right now.
We all owe trillions. Like,
yeah.
Like if everybody in the States were to get a $115 ticket for spitting on a sidewalk, obviously this couldn't happen, because one, this ordinance isn't in effect all over the U.S. or even in North America, only in certain cities. But even if it was, just hypothetically, they could make a rough average of about $35 billion.
Whew, yeah. I'd buy me a Maserati with that money.
So you could buy a lot with that,
Yeah.
Wouldn't need those corporate donations at that point.
Oh no.
Honestly, what is the harm? It was winter in this case, but all it's going to do is it's going to freeze in the snow.
Yeah.
Terrible crime, right?
Well, it's an ordinance. It's not a crime, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a slap on the hand, but
it is.
They're going a little bit farther. They're going a little bit farther. Yeah.
But anyways, it's not going to do any harm. They can't say that somebody's going to slip and fall on a little piece of ice, because what are the chances of that?
Yeah, a little dime drop sliver or whatever.
Yeah. During summer, you spit, and if on a hot day on a hot sidewalk, you watch it just evaporate.
I would like to know these officers, like how they acted when they served this guy his ticket or whatever for spitting. I mean,
how would you?
Sir. I would have been laughing the whole time, like,
excuse me, sir. You have, actually, what? It was probably more like this, sir. What did you do there?
You just spit on the ground.
I spit on the sidewalk. What did I do? You know what you did. What did I do? You know what you did.
Put your hands behind your back.
And then, what do I do? You spit on the sidewalk, boy.
Yeah, or if it's some of those police out there, they'll draw their weapons.
Yeah. Get on the ground.
Get on the ground. You spit.
Yeah, I'm gonna write you a $115 ticket. Don't ever do this again. Here's your ticket. Pay it by whatever date. But come on, they probably were serious while doing it.
Yeah.
You see that a lot with police, even with dumb laws.
They gotta be.
Who the hell even thinks of that? He spit on the sidewalk. I need to give him a $115 ticket.
I couldn't. I don't know. If that ever happened to me, I would laugh the whole time.
Like Jason, yeah.
I mean, look at all the other people. How many people have spit on the sidewalk, or even spit in the grass, or not even where there's public place, in their yard.
We all have.
That's interesting. Can they spit in their own yard, or is it just in the public places?
Public areas, bus areas.
Oh, okay. Well, where did he spit at? Was he freaking
on a sidewalk?
Okay. Was he in front of a lawyer or a bank place, or?
I guess he was walking down the street. He was going to get some, he was going down the street to get some pizza with his friends.
I wonder, has there any? Wow. I can't wrap my head around this, Cole. I can't. I mean,
just imagine, if you were a cop, hypothetically, if you were some sort of police officer, law enforcement, what would go through your mind? Would it be something like this? He just spit on the sidewalk. I need to give him a $115 ticket.
No. Imagine patrolling the streets with your spotlight, looking for people in the space on the sidewalk. We got a code 109. You can spit. I
don't even know what to call this. It's not police brutality.
No. It's what is that word? Is there a word for it? Harassment? No.
Yeah.
Being stupid?
Yeah, kinda. I don't. Obviously, it's the city that put this in place. So I guess the cop was technically doing his job by the book.
Yeah.
As he should, I guess. But no, I guess we're doing his job. But I don't know what to call it.
I don't know either. I don't know if it would be harassment though. Harassing. I don't know. Maybe bribing them, getting money out of them, maybe
It's almost Orwellian.
Orwellian, yeah. Bringing up the Orwellian.
I do not know. Like even the politicians in the city council that came up with this, they probably spit on the sidewalk walking out of City Hall or whatever that night.
Exactly.
Well, don't give me a ticket. I'm above that.
That's what they probably say too.
Yeah, exactly. See, you get the ticket, we don't. And then when you ask them why, I cannot say.
I cannot say. I'm under a strict obligation not to.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, moving on. Obviously, very stupid ordinance. The guy is going to end up paying it, but the motivation behind the creation of such an ordinance doesn't exist. And certain other cities in the U.S. and North America do have similar laws, bylaws or ordinances, whatever you want to call them, and others don't. Thankfully, I'm in one that doesn't.
Yeah, thank God. Holy cow.
Moving on to the Black Friday madness that ensued last week. It was last week, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, everyone, right after, actually, no, this starts on Thanksgiving now in the States. Thanksgiving evening, stores open up for early Black Friday sales. Other stores didn't, like Costco. They stayed closed till the next day. Anyways, the question is Black Friday worth it? With all these people going nuts over sales, people fighting over towels, okay? Let that one sink in for a minute. Like towels. They're what, $2 towels, and we're fighting over them?
About ready to beat each other's head in over towels.
So we're punching the hell out. People are punching the shit out of people over towels.
Yeah.
Fighting over flat screen televisions. Fighting over portable hard drives. And there's absolute riots in these stores, like Walmart. Like these Walmart stores. You look at these pictures. You tell me these stores aren't filled over capacity, way beyond capacity.
You think they're like selling freaking You
You
know.
would think there was some sort of natural
Yeah,
disaster
yeah,
that the U.S. finally did collapse,
yeah,
like everyone's saying. You would really think that absolute hell had broken loose, that
yeah,
everyone was looting these stores,
yeah,
and
yeah,
so
yeah.
on. Like, I do not understand what, like, these are everyday people going into these stores, fighting other everyday people over junk.
Junk stuff that I could have gotten for the same price possibly throughout the whole year.
Yeah, you probably could have got it for less after Christmas, anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if you really think about it, from what would you do as a company? What would make sense? Jack the prices up 3 weeks before Black Friday, and then lower it Black Friday,
No, no, no.
or would you
Other way
keep it?
around.
Or exactly, yeah, other way
Other way
around.
around.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. But no,
Simple.
I think that's really what happens is
Yeah.
you jack the prices up before it, let
the
everyone
thing is-
think it's expensive,
The thing is,
and
I
then
mean, towels.
pull it back down to normal
Cool,
prices.
cool,
I know
cool.
towels.
Yeah, towels. Okay, you don't have towels out in the front area all the time when you go to Walmart or any other supermarket or store. You don't see them like out in front, like, oh, big towels, big signs saying, oh, deals, and look at this.
Actually, Jason,
They're all hidden most of the time. They're all in the back,
Actually-
you know. Are you kidding me?
Walmart here every now and then. But like when you walk into the Walmart, there's like 2 entries. You go through one of them.
Yeah.
On the living side of it.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
You walk in, and then there's that big little thing. He goes to the back of the store.
Is that the main doors, the main entrance?
Yeah, and you just walk straight in the middle of the aisles. They got towels and
Wow, I never
all
had that. I haven't
crap.
seen that before.
So
I thought maybe they're doing this like putting like items that are like in the back or like hidden kind of.
Well,
you know, like,
in the video where you
and saying there's a big sale and it's really
in
not.
the video that you see, they're fighting over towels.
Yeah.
This wasn't this year, I don't think. It might have been, but either way, this isn't in the front of the store.
Yeah, it's like
You can
they're all
tell.
out there in the front of the store. Yeah, in like little bins.
Like this year, one person was stabbed over a parking space.
Yeah.
Another
That
was shot over his flat screen TV.
I got a question. You said Canadians are actually traveling all the way over the border. I mean, isn't that a waste of gas?
Well, I know. I don't know why people do this. Like, I hear about this all the time. Even not with just Black Friday sales. You hear people going, I'm going to go on a holiday to whatever country. And what are you going to do there? You're going to see all the sights? You're going to see all the natural wonders? No, I'm going to go to all the big cities, and I'm going to go to the malls, and I'm going to stay inside, and I'm going to why? And people will go down to the States to do this. I'm like, we have these stores here, most of them, not all of them, but they mostly carry the same products. So why you, So that's why the stores here are picking up Black Friday sales. They want to keep the Canadians in Canada for Black Friday.
So I got a question. Everyone that's watching, or if you watch it after the fact, if you want to look at all these articles, they're on our website. The links will be in the description for each article. So I guess Cole said in the article that Canadians seem calmer people than us Americans. What do you have to say about that?
Well, from what I did a little bit of research looking at some videos on YouTube, and you don't see people charging into our stores.
Oh, they walk in and shake hands and high five.
Running. Yeah, they do high five people,
really?
Actually.
Nice. Actually, yeah, I was right.
You don't see them running down the employees.
Yeah. That was a terrible video I seen on there.
Yeah, like in 2008 in the U.S., a Walmart employee was trampled to death by customers.
Yep, I read about that. Yeah.
And you don't see that. People when they line up outside of our stores, you don't see too many huge lines. Like I was looking at Best Buys and stuff. We have it, go east and you have big lines. But at least here in Western Canada, where I am, like 2 people standing outside of the Best Buy. Before it opens. And literally, that's not an exaggeration too. Like you go further east, like Toronto. Yeah, you'll get the big lines you do in the States, but it's just not as bad. Like you look at these videos in the States, and this would. Honestly, it would be a really good video to show people to say, don't move to the U.S. Like you show them this every Black Friday. Their ritual is to riot at all the Walmarts, fight over towels. What? What? It's just a big scam, is what it is. You got the prices up 3 weeks before the sale, and then you lower it back to normal prices at the sale, and you increase your profits.
See, this is what I feel. Okay, this is my idea. It's definitely not worth it. Black Friday is not worth it to me. All the stress and stuff going through all that is definitely not worth it for me. That's why I do all my shopping either throughout the whole year. I do my shopping, or I just do it all online. You know.
Well, yeah, online at least you don't have to punch the living hell out of somebody.
Exactly.
Get that flat screen TV.
Maybe you might punch a computer screen because it freezes up on you. But
yeah, like you look at these videos. These people are vultures, just fighting over anything and everything. You know, and then it can only and in Walmart, I find it funny that Walmart says this, that they're improving safety at their stores Black Friday and you know and all that because of the person that died. And wouldn't limiting the amount of people going into the store be a good place to start?
Absolutely.
But here's why
the problem I have is that the police there, they really don't do nothing. They just sit and watch until it gets to where there's guns and weapons. Yeah.
Well, Jason,
when people are punching and hitting and slamming each other, they just
Jason,
they're getting beat up over there.
Unfortunately, I'm actually going to side on the cops on this one.
Well, yeah, I know. I get where you're coming from because we're a whole crowd of people against two cops. I get it.
Two cops. Yeah, sure, they got guns. Yeah. But you telling me a few thousand people couldn't overtake those cops?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And that's the problem. They're from a law enforcement standpoint. I think this Black Friday thing would be an absolute nightmare.
That is exactly why they need to limit how many people go to the stores.
See, but here's the problem. Here's why they won't limit how many people go into the stores. Because we make people wait outside. People get bored and people leave.
They want the money. It's all about the money.
When the big corporate guys see these people walking back to their cars with nothing,
it's like dollar bills. It's like dollar bills.
They don't see the people. They just see dollar signs leaving their parking lot.
Exactly.
Okay, that's the problem. But if you let them all charge in at once, they all go nuts. They make a mess in your store. Yeah, but hey, we're making billions. Why do we care? But
so here's my little quote, if you will. Black Friday has zombified Americans. Like a zombie, their one goal like a zombie is to eat brains. Black Friday zombies, one goal is to get a better deal no matter what.
But in actuality, and these people don't realize this, they're not getting a better deal.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said before, you know, you could shop throughout the whole year and find a better deal than what you would on Black Friday. You just gotta look. You know,
in January, you just think about it. The reason you notice all these huge sales are always towards the end of the year. And hear me out here, Jason.
Yeah.
So Black Friday, the end of November, and you know up here in many other countries, you have Boxing Day, the day after Christmas. And this is the Christmas season. This is when everybody wants to buy presents. And you make them think they're getting a good deal on presents conveniently at the time of Christmas. And conveniently, everybody goes Christmas shopping at this time of year to get those good deals. And conveniently, they make more money in the fourth quarter than any other quarter of the year.
I give them props for that because they came up with a great plan with that. I mean, if I was a big corporate Walmart owner, you know, own the whole franchise or whatever, then yeah.
See, it doesn't work like a lot of people think. Everyone thinks normal prices up until Black Friday, and then they drop them below cost. It doesn't work that way. They don't drop them ever below cost.
No.
And if they do drop anything below cost, you're in a store and you're already, your mind isn't where it should be. You're buying pretty much everything on impulse.
You don't
buy anything, even if it isn't a good deal. Yes, you may have gotten one thing on a good deal, but you got like 20 other things that weren't a good deal. And think about all that gas that you spent driving aimlessly around the parking lot looking for a parking space, unless you decided to stab somebody over it, like one guy did. And
I can't believe that, man.
Yeah, like why?
Imagine if that same guy was in the store and fighting over a TV. He pulls out a knife and attacks somebody, or if he had a gun.
You know, the sad part is though, nobody would notice.
Yeah, because it would have just been all in one big area. It would have been hard to see, you know, find out. All in one big area.
Oh, for sure, nobody would see it because there's too many people and other people fighting, and
that person could be dead in a couple minutes, 30 minutes or whatever.
For sure, and people could probably start walking over because he's gonna fall.
Trample over him, and he's
gonna fall and fucking die anyways. And the sad part here is, you know, this happens every year, and what they do is, like I said, they jack the prices up, and you lower it back to normal, and then you kind of just slowly bring it back up anyways after, and then people continue buying it. And if you gradually increase prices, nobody's going to notice that you've increased the prices, and they're going to continue buying it. You make them think they got a good deal that on Black Friday, and then you just slowly increase it.
There's one thing that I like to do. After Christmas, I like to go in and get stuff.
Yeah, and nothing wrong with that. I'm not going to condemn anyone for doing that because we've all done it. But that also is kind of engineered by these companies too. Of course, here in Canada, it's really cranked up because we have Boxing Day, basically Black Friday after Christmas, and
where everybody high fives each other.
Yeah, exactly. Sure, they might run into the store, but they're not trampling the employees, punching
pulling out knives and whatnot.
Exactly, and it's just, and of course with Thanksgiving, obviously you guys have your Thanksgiving in November. We don't, so we can't have this problem here. But the stores are opening on Thanksgiving, so you're making their employees work unbelievable hours. So they can't necessarily spend too much time with their families on Thanksgiving because they have to wake up early the next day or even go to work that night for Black Friday sales. So, because chances are, you probably stayed up late some nights, on Thanksgiving if you ever did anything with your family.
Oh, yeah.
But see, the employees don't get that chance because if they do that, then they're going to be tired the next day and they're going to be able to get up. You see the problem with that? These employees get put through this, and then it's stressful for these employees too. Because think about all these people. How the hell think about if you were a cashier. How are you going to handle that many people that are pissed off, dangerous?
Oh man.
Okay, these people, they are not everyday people anymore. Although they are, they're not.
That'll be the day when cashiers come to their job or whatever with firearms.
Well, yeah, like how do you handle that?
That's how you handle it.
There's no real crowd control. Walmart likes to say there is, but you control the crowd by limiting the crowd.
There you go. And I don't see how they could do that, though, honestly.
It would.
How? I mean,
unfortunately, it would take.
Well, like have a ticket or something, or get a mark on your hand saying you went into the store or something.
Unfortunately, I guess some sort of police presence, bigger one, and then that puts a strain. But then that would put a strain on the police force.
But it's terrible. We have to resort to that. Yeah,
It is, even if they did, because then if we increase police presence at these stores, it puts a strain on the police system and the police force, and then what if something else happens? Police then are put at a disadvantage because then the police may not be able to get to somebody else in time.
I don't know. Honestly, that idea of limiting, supermarkets, whatever.
It would have to be done in these days somehow. If we let them all in. Think about this too. What if something were to go wrong? Let's say the fucking roof collapses on the building for some reason.
Oh, dear God, yeah.
Okay, now we have panicked people, too.
Yeah, there you go.
They're crazed, they're panicked, and there's injured.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to be trampling over everybody. It's going to be chaos. Yes, these buildings have emergency exits, but I don't think they're designed for this many people.
Yeah, it'll be overloaded real soon. And you got to think about all the shelves and stuff falling down on people as well. I mean,
exactly. If anything goes wrong, this thing
it's a disaster.
It's a disaster waiting to happen.
For the whole town, it would be. Because you got all the police trapped in there, you got all the people trapped in there, you got chaos.
The cops can't do anything, and I'm not even going to condemn the police because if they had enough resources to do it. If they devoted all their resources to these stores, then they'd be screwed anyways, because then they can't do anything outside the store. Black Friday is just a terrible idea to begin with.
Oh hell yeah! But you said,
it's not an actual.
Like I say, it's all about
It's all about money, is what it is.
Yeah.
And it's all about making money. And here's another thing too: people that go to these stores thinking, "I have money in my pocket and I need to spend it today." Anyone that is like that, I'm not saying you, but anybody that's watching that's like that is exactly what these big companies want.
Yeah.
Because when you have money but don't know what you want to spend it on, you'll spend it on just about anything.
See, my thing is I can't comprehend the value of a piece of paper. I mean, yeah, I know the government and everyone around me says, oh, it's, there's a $100 bill, you could buy, $100 worth of items or whatever. But I can't comprehend the value of that. I find more value in gold coins and silver coins, stuff like that. I don't find value in a piece of paper that's...
Well, material, actual
now
material.
With a new $100 bill, it looks like freaking Monopoly money. I don't definitely find no value in that, man.
Well, you look at our money, it's all plastic now in Canada.
Yeah. See, maybe we should have that, because I'd put a little more value into that, because the money we have now can be ripped, torn, and all that good stuff, and
Hey,
you know,
I
put
have
water
tried
in.
ripping money. I have a problem sitting there trying to rip money up, but it's supposed to be hard to rip and tear.
Isn't that a federal offense or like a crime if you throw away money or something? I
I don't
thought.
think it is. It is in the States. It's in the States. I think it's illegal to melt money
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
I think like in the 90s, doesn't
It's like
everybody have
I'm
the bright
tired of looking
idea of
at this
melting money?
$100 bill. I'm just gonna throw it away.
If you have, but that's what's going on in those corporate offices.
Yeah.
And so another story too is I heard of this family, and I think I linked it in the article I wrote. Is Black Friday worth it? Worth it? No, not at all. This family decided that they were going to have Thanksgiving dinner. Where do you think they had Thanksgiving dinner, Jason? Before I finish it.
Outside?
Outside where?
Courthouse or park or the Capitol or something?
You know, that'd be nice. That'd be one. I'd love to have a Thanksgiving dinner outside the Capitol. That'd be really cool. But unfortunately, they didn't do any of that. They decided that they were going to set up a table and chairs and have Thanksgiving dinner outside of their local Target.
Man.
To be first in
That
in line for the Black Friday sales, and then we'll be interviewed by I don't remember who or what news source, but they were interviewed and the mother I guess is like, Thanksgiving dinner outside of Target? Who doesn't do that?
That's completely greedy right there, I'd say, because you're trying to give thanks on that day. You're not trying to, be the first to get stuff.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? You're supposed to be thankful for what you have, but then the next day you will go riot at your local Walmart, beat the snot out of people, fight over useless electronics, fight over plastic, fight over towels. Yet you're supposed to be thankful for what you have. Yet these people just go mad on Black Friday.
Calm down, Cole. Calm down.
I can't comprehend it either. They go mad.
It's hard to wrap your head
every
around
Black Friday. They go mad.
Yeah, it's insanity.
And
like I said, I haven't been to Black Friday or done Black Friday in about 3 years.
And then when you go and tell them you're getting ripped off, you can get a better deal either online or wait for January. No. The store told me though that I was getting a better deal. They told me. I tell you in the advertisement it said you got a better deal, right? Did you look at last week's flyer? No. Was everything like triple the price? I don't know.
I like you said, it's hard to comprehend it. Hard to comprehend it. Wrap your head around it.
Is. Like I don't.
Cole stumped. He's flabbergasted.
Like
as am I.
You look at these stores and you think, who would want to be in an environment like that?
Greedy people. People that don't care about their families and getting.
I guess because like the employees, first of all, like I said, they don't get to enjoy Thanksgiving. Yeah. Or if you're a Walmart employee, they just set up a donation bin for their own employees.
Oh yeah, donate. Yeah.
I'm serious. They did. They set up a donation bin for their own employees because their own employees didn't actually get paid enough to have a Thanksgiving dinner.
Wow.
And of course, a big, huge corporation can't spare, just a little bit of money. Or just give them the turkeys or something. Here, have it. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Yeah, have some more fake Monopoly money.
Yeah. Maybe we all need to start becoming self-sufficient again.
Oh yeah. Cole, how's that microphone there in your light? How's that going?
Oh yeah, pretty good, I think.
You gotta be careful with them words now. They're listening to you.
But I'm still trying to hash this out. I'm gonna take a look at the article, see what else I mentioned in it. It's been a while since I wrote it. But so what else do you guys say about Black Friday, Jason?
I'm glad I don't participate in it.
I think we should all be radical. I'm glad. I guess up here it isn't as bad. I don't have to worry about getting stabbed.
Honestly, Black Friday to me is the day the greedy people have their day, basically.
Well, yeah.
They have at it. They fight over stuff.
This Black Friday thing is downright dangerous.
Yeah.
These stores are filled way over capacity.
Yeah.
Which is a hazard.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you waste a whole bunch of time standing in lines, or I guess punching the shit out of the guy in front of you in the line. I guess that's how it works now. You have Thanksgiving dinner outside of Target. Here's the sad part though. When you look at other cultures around the world, you ask them, what are your traditions? And they'll have actual traditions. Then you ask anybody that lives in North America, what are your traditions? I'll have Thanksgiving dinner outside of Target. Our culture is based around huge corporations.
Well, what can we do about it? Can't do shit. You know, either join them or get lost.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is nowadays.
Because
either join or get lost.
see, back in the day with the little small stores with everyday people running them, if they lost a customer, they'd actually be concerned. They'd want to do their best to serve you well and to make sure you come back. Today, screw it, leave. I got 60 more of you guys coming in right now.
Yeah.
Go ahead, leave. Don't buy it. I don't care. And really, the companies don't care what happens. They don't care if anyone gets hurt. They don't care.
No.
It's all about dollar signs.
Yeah, there's the Wall-mart and everything, like when the employees and stuff, and other stores as well, like Sears and everywhere else. They're all outside, doing these team meetings, these team huddles, and they're all excited and pumped to make all this money, and it's just sickening to me. Honestly.
Yeah, but here's the sad part: the employees will do all that huddling and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
But they'll never see like most of the money that.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, oh my God, this is so cool! Like, and they don't make any of it. None of it. Nothing.
Same. They probably get bonuses like for Christmas, but.
Yeah, they probably do, but I bet it isn't very much.
Nah, I agree.
Because they pay these people minimum wage.
Yeah.
And these people are basically all in poverty, most of them.
Mm.
It's scary, really.
Yeah, it's dangerous. It's scary, dangerous, and mind-boggling. That's what it is. I mean.
Well, yeah. It's. I don't even know what to think.
Yeah, and I'm an American, so I'm used to it, but.
Yeah, I'm looking at
the stuff you're saying now kind of brings light to when I was doing Black Friday back when a couple years ago or whatever. I kind of agree with everything you're saying.
Well, yeah, these people.
I participated in it.
Like you said, these people are zombified.
Yeah.
Correct. These people are like savages,
yeah.
vultures. They don't
greedy,
care about
greedy.
Yeah, they don't care about other human life, obviously, because they will stab over parking spots. They will shoot you over flat screen TVs.
Ridiculous.
They will beat the snot out of you because you got the TV before them. And interesting thing is, I'm looking at some annual earnings from Walmart, quarterly earnings, and Wally World, yeah. So far this year, looking at the second quarter, third quarter, and fourth, this is I guess these are estimates or whatever. Yeah. But what quarter do you think they made the most money in so far?
Third.
Fourth.
It's
right about now.
Of the year. Yeah,
right about now. Isn't that interesting? How the companies will make more money now, at either time of the year, but yet they tell you they are selling all this stuff at cost.
Yeah.
And people believe it.
I was watching a YouTube video, and I'm not going to name the person, but I guess he overheard one of the bosses or one of the big managers of one of the big businesses out there. I can't remember what it was. It might have been Target. But I heard him talking, or the guy heard him talking, and he talks about in his video. He said they made twice what they made last year without Black Friday.
Yeah.
$40,000.
Wow.
On just Black Friday alone, one store.
It's a good business.
Yeah.
Yeah, all Black Friday is money. All these little holidays, even Christmas. It's supposed to be. You look at Christmas.
Yeah, but we've been programmed, okay.
We have. You look
all
at
these
Christmas,
holidays and stuff.
At Christmas, you spend time with your family. It's supposed to be. It's a.
Happy, jolly.
Holiday. Time of Christmas music that we all hate.
Yeah. Hey, I don't hate Christmas music.
Oh, I do. I despise it.
Oh man, you lost my coolness. You lost the coolness there. You lost one coolness point.
Oh, but anyways, you look at it. And
have a holly jolly Christmas. Let's all sing. Come on now. Let's all sing. Make Cole upset.
All right, have a holly jolly something. But
yeah.
But anyways, you look at this. Christmas isn't a holiday. How about spending time with family? It's about making money. Thanksgiving, making money. Every holiday is about making money.
Yeah.
Even Valentine's Day, not a real holiday, but it's about making money.
Making money, exactly.
New Year's,
buy your girlfriend all this, and
Yeah. Don't worry about the fact we're making billions off you stupid people. But
yeah.
don't worry. Yeah, do whatever you want.
That's where it comes to think, maybe all these people making all this money are all in one little congregation, basically. They all know, who's who and what's what.
Oh, for sure.
That's what I think, honestly.
Like the companies do make more money this time of year, and you gotta wonder why.
Yeah,
Especially when they tell you,
yeah.
"Oh, we slashed the prices on everything." Don't worry about the fact you jacked them up 3 weeks ago. But don't worry, you're
Hey, Carl,
saving money.
how much were them headphones there?
These ones?
Yeah.
I think they're like 30 something.
You're giving money to the man.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah.
But how am I gonna make my own headphones, right?
Yeah, there you go.
And that's the problem too. Like obviously not everyone's gonna have the ability to make electronics.
Yeah.
But the sad part is, you look at these electronics, and you wonder, like, how are these things so cheap? And then you look into the actual dark side of them. They're all made in sweatshops.
How they're made, who makes them, how much
iPhone. I think the iPhone is a wonderful device. How it's made, it's terrible. You got suicide nets at the factories. They're all trying to kill themselves by jumping off the roofs.
Yeah.
They're
I believe Apple had a problem with that too.
Yeah, that's actually who I'm getting at, right? And even though today they're like, oh, we're not doing it, but who's to say they didn't move the factory, like,
yeah, exactly.
How many miles that way?
Exactly.
Well, we just move it there, and we'll keep this one factory here for show. Make everybody feel good.
Yeah. So let me get the opinion of everyone else. Make sure you write your opinions in the comments below on Black Friday, on spitting and getting a ticket, as well as having chickens and possibly getting arrested. Make sure you write down the comments.
And if anyone else wants to see, exactly what I said in the article, because it's an opinion article, and I explain my opinion a little more clearly than that. But it's a lengthy article, but I suggest you read it, take a look at it. It takes a look at some interesting points, facts and points. But the conclusion here, at least on my end, is Black Friday is one scary, messed up day. It is all about making money, greed, corporate greed too.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, exactly.
It's about making money. They don't care about the customer.
Manipulation.
They don't care about the customer. They care about the dollar sign.
Yeah.
You think these customers, make an absolute mess of their store, but if they're making money off these people,
I'm gonna say a quote. People are walking dollar signs to the corporate.
Well, I agree. Who
We're
said
walking
that?
dollar signs then.
Who said it?
You did?
Mm.
No, that's my quote. You took it.
No, I said who said it.
Oh, who said it? I did. I just said it.
Oh, good quote. And they are basically walking dollar signs. You're right.
Yeah.
You're very right.
Yeah.
And that's why we have these huge riots, and that's why that's why these people, like I said, that don't know what they want to buy, are amazing to the corporate world. Because if you don't know what you want to buy, you'll buy just about anything.
Just about anything, yeah. If it's a so-called deal.
Exactly. Throw a Walmart, just throw a rollback sign on the thing. Oh, it's cheap, remember?
Oh, yeah. We'll have a smiley face, rollback.
Exactly. And like, you look at stores, too. I spent like last weekend, since we didn't do the live stream, I got a lot of time to sit and watch documentaries.
Yeah.
And I watched some documentaries. They're all British, but they took a look at.
Hey, what's going on?
What? They took a look at what do you call it? Their grocery stores there, all the big stores, and they took 4 big ones there. The interesting thing is they found all the different tricks that they did. So let's try this again. I'm messing up on this one big time. Anyway,
I interrupted you. Sorry.
Yeah, you threw me off there. Let's start over. So I was watching some documentaries, right?
Yeah.
And they took a look at the 4, big grocery chains in Britain. They took a look, and interesting was they took a look at all the different tricks that they pulled, and you wouldn't believe it's scientific how they do this stuff. They had bumps in the floor to slow you down so you could look at the deals.
Are you friggin'
minor bumps in the store to slow your shopping cart down just so you can see deals?
Yeah. What if somebody trips over that bump?
And where do you think the most expensive stuff is? In a grocery store.
In a grocery store, most expensive?
Take a look at the shelf. Where do you think the most expensive stuff is on a shelf?
I'd say not food for some reason.
But just like say the level of the shelf. What part of the shelf do you think we put an expensive item on?
Oh, right in the middle.
Right, you're correct. Cheapest stuff
Right in eyesight.
right at the bottom.
Right in eyesight. Yeah.
And if you want kids to buy something or get their
Yeah.
parents to buy it for them, you put
Right
it at the
down
bottom of
below.
the shelf. You put it
Yeah.
right down below where they'll see it.
Yeah.
And the healthiest, cheapest stuff is on the exterior walls.
The stuff that doesn't have all the mind warping chemicals or whatever.
And the milk, it's always at the back of the store or very, very far away. Apparently they put the milk at the maximum walking distance from the front door.
Yeah.
So you have to walk by all the wonderful deals.
All the good stuff.
Because they don't want you to come into the store to buy milk and leave. They want you to buy milk and buy about 30 other things at the same time. They have increased shopping cart sizes, so you buy more stuff. You feel obligated to buy more stuff. You feel obligated to fill the shopping cart up.
Yeah. They actually have 2 sizes of shopping carts now in Walmart and certain other supermarkets.
Yeah, I've seen that.
They have like a regular size and then like a little small size that has like 2 little tiers or whatever. Of,
I haven't seen that at Walmart. I've seen it in a grocery store.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. It's very scientific how it's done.
Wow, I can't. They gone through all that just to make a little extra dollar.
They think about it, and you know, and you look at like different bottles and cans on a shelf. You ever notice they're all facing towards you? They're all sometimes in unison. They all look the same the way they're placed on the shelf. That's done so it looks better, so you buy it.
So you buy it, really?
Yeah.
Wow, you really did some research on this, Cole. Damn.
Supposed to look better, so you buy it. The layout of the store. Sometimes you see half aisles in a store.
Yeah.
So buy more stuff. Half aisles is so you go into a different aisle and buy more stuff.
Buy more stuff. Yeah.
Or they'll put deals in the middle of that aisle and you buy that stuff.
Better watch it. You're gonna be poached by one of these supermarkets or whatever. Want all your information and stuff.
Everything is very scientific how these stores are laid out. They have put tremendous thought in it. Think of it. They'll go to the length to put a bump in the floor so it slows the shopping cart down.
So how else will they? How far will they go next?
And all those wonderful cards they have. Club cards. They got rewards point cards and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So make it all better for you and this and that.
Yeah, supposedly.
And just don't mind all the information we're collecting on you. We know everything you've ever purchased at our store. We know where you live. We know everything about you. In some cases, we know how many kids you have.
And there we go. I'm back. Nice. Yeah, I was distracted there.
The grocery store is a very well thought out place. And you notice too.
To make money. Yeah.
The different departments, also fish. You go to the seafood section, and let's say you go to that section where they got the fish, and so they got fish on the ice, on ice.
Fish on fish department.
You know why it's on ice? It doesn't need to be on ice at all. The reason it's on ice is to make you think it's fresher. No need for ice at all.
That's why when you go to like farmers market or something, or like a meat open fish market or something. They don't have fish on ice sometimes there.
Exactly.
They're just like laid out. Like if you go to like other countries and stuff, they don't have fish on ice, and that's why people are so scared to eat it because they think it's not fresh.
Yeah, and another thing too is they took a look at the produce section, and you look at they look at apples and all the fruit and stuff like that. All the apples look the same.
I've seen some pretty nasty looking fruit and vegetables.
And so usually when you go into most of the grocery stores don't carry here for some reason. They're all rotten, and you pick it up, and the one side of it's just black.
And then all those are marked down like half off or something.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Like how can you sell me this crap?
Yeah. One grocery store here is really bad for that. I was walking through it, moldy strawberries, 50% off.
Yeah, never go.
This is why I don't like shopping at this crap store.
Yeah, exactly. That's why you go to. Go to like.
And they're not as bad anymore. That particular store.
Yeah.
But for a few years, all the meat packages were sitting there wide open, for some unknown reason.
Somebody put some like stuff in it or what?
I don't know, and the interesting thing is, anyways, when they do look the same, they're all the same type of apple, blah blah blah. The reason they look the same is things that look nice sell better. And and the sad part is though, apparently with farmers, they produce all this food, and the supermarkets and all that will not accept most of it because it doesn't look properly. If it has a little speck in it, it's garbage. If it's slightly out of shape, garbage.
If it's misshapen,
even with potatoes, it can be any shape you want as long
looks
as
looks like Obama.
The potato, it can be any shape you want. It can look any way you want, just about. As long as it has to be noble, and you can't have this, that, and it's got a little hole there, garbage.
Yeah.
And of course, that, and then because they have these little minor defects in it, there's nothing wrong with the quality of the fruit or vegetable. But either way, farmers try to prevent that using more pesticides. They're forced to use pesticides, and then the organic farmers, they have to throw away like 60% of what they produce every year.
Damn, that's a lot of money down the drain for them.
Like you see them, they showed one farmer, a potato farmer, right? I don't even bother sending half. He's basically said, I don't even bother sending half this stuff to them because they're just gonna tell me to take it back anyways. So he just dumps it in a pile or feeds it to his cows.
Yeah, that would be best idea right there, to do that. Feed it to your animals or something, or feed it to yourself, your family or something, you know.
And of course, they also took a look at how they factory farm everything, and they tell you it's so good for the environment. You look at their cows and stalls and chickens.
Oh, horrible stuff I've seen.
The chickens that we've seen there look a lot like the shoppers in Walmart. Come Black Friday, they really do. The way they're all jammed in there and trampling over one another, they really do. Just most of them can walk. And you got they raise ducks too in farms, and those ducks never ever swam on water, or they just kind of float around. But
flat, good water.
And you got so like animals, and they show you too with the chickens apparently. Apparently, when they sit on the ground, basically they're sitting in their shit all the time. Basically, what happens is it burns their skin. Nice. It burns their skin, right? And if you look at the chicken, apparently they showed it. You see little black spots in it, and that's the burn they were talking about. And in some cases,
that feces or whatever gets into their bloodstream too. Once it starts eating away at their skin or whatever, because they're sitting in it.
Exactly, and then you see something too. Sometimes they'll carefully cut that piece out. They'll carefully cut that piece out.
Why are you telling us this, Cole?
So it is how the grocery store works is very, very, very well thought out. Everything needs to look good. Yeah. It must look uniform. And with the strawberries, apparently they sell you the same type of strawberry. Apparently the strawberries they sell, apparently they taste bland, but they all look nice and they're big.
Yeah. We have wild strawberries up here, by the way.
Oh yeah.
And they do not taste like the strawberries you get at a supermarket.
And
they have so much more flavor here.
But then these it was like BBC or something. They went over to Spain. Or something else anyway. I don't remember who did it. But they went over to Spain, and the interesting thing was, in Spain they could care less about how things look.
Yeah.
And they can basically sell whatever they want, and things aren't in season all the time. Like strawberries, you can buy strawberries all year long.
All year long?
Oh yeah.
That's not right.
Here you can. Anyways, in Spain you can't. All the stuff is seasonal, like it should be.
Like it should be.
Mm-hmm. And things taste better. Yes, some of them look quite deformed, but people seem to care less there. It tastes better, and they had people try this stuff from Britain. Nobody liked it. It tastes bland. It was boring. Didn't taste any good, which was quite interesting.
Yeah.
So obviously, the way things worked in Spain were a fair bit better, but you would not believe how well thought out the grocery store or any store is.
Yeah, when you said about the bumps and everything in the freaking pathway, I'm like,
and you know how some grocery stores they throw down that wood on the floor in certain sections, put wood on the floor.
Yeah.
That's to make you feel good, so you buy more stuff.
Holy cow.
The music in the stores, so you buy more stuff.
Make you feel happier, yeah. Wow.
Everything is so you can buy more stuff. Of course you got, useless, magazines about, the celebrities.
Oh yeah.
That's making you buy more stuff there. And of course you got the rest of the magazines, usually by the pharmacy. So while you're waiting for your prescription, you go buy magazines. Or you look at the magazine while you're waiting and your prescription's ready, but this was a really good article, I'm going to have to buy this. More money.
Well, I'm glad some people have money. I mean, look at all the people that are suffering over, other countries.
Exactly.
And even in our country alone, there's people suffering.
Well, yeah, I think that's a problem too. A lot of people think, well, often then, a country's way on the other side of the world. But you're forgetting about all the people within your own country that don't have a home, don't have money, don't have a family, live under an overpass. Some people don't even have that. Even people here in this city, people stuck outside -40.
Yeah. That's what I don't get about how a lot of very popular people that are singers or whatever, they all donate to overseas. They never donate to
their own country.
Their own country, yeah.
You look at your own country, you walk down your own streets and you see homeless people.
Not to take anyone away from anybody overseas.
No,
I'm just
yeah,
saying,
it's fair. Yeah,
you need to help yourself or help your own country before you can help others.
yeah,
Imagine if all the people in our country was all doing good and we're all healthy. Think of how much help we could give to other countries if we're all doing good and we
like
all are healthy and have money
even
and
our own
houses.
government's guilty for that. Always
Yeah.
sending out foreign aid, and then
Yeah.
so what did you do to help the homeless people lately? Oh, we gave them $1. Really, that's pretty much what they do.
Yeah.
Even all these homeless shelters and all that, they're not run by the government. They're run by private organizations.
Yeah.
You don't ever see the government, in most cases, sometimes they do, really taking that much of a step into it.
Oh, yeah, of course.
But like I said, the grocery store and all that, huge science behind how it's set up. And the most expensive stuff is in the middle of the store.
Because that's where you go to first, mostly?
In the middle of the store is the most expensive. And so
really?
basically they say stay away from the aisles and probably spend less money and probably spend money
there you go. Tip from Cole, guys.
And you'll probably spend money on things that are healthy for you, like fruits and vegetables, meat, stuff like that.
Actually, in one of our stores, we have the ice cream all the way on the left of the store, so on the end.
Yeah, the one store. Yeah, we do that here in some of our stores. Trying to think which stores would do that. Yeah, it's interesting because the dairy products. Yeah, certain stores that have an aisle with just freezers in it.
Yeah, that's what we have too. Yeah.
Yeah, certain stores do that. Some don't. Some just put them against the wall. But you got those too. But think about it, bumps in the floor to slow you down. And you notice all the signs that have the great deals on them are all nice and colorful for a reason.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, wow, deals, rollback, all that good stuff.
Yeah, like Walmart. It's a smiley face. Make you feel good. Feel good. Buy this now. Feel good, but buy it, okay? Give us your money, but buy it. Feel good.
If I ever open up a store, I'm going to hire you, Cole.
Yeah. And it is, like, it's absolute science. Even the milk, like, that's surprising. You think
wow, yeah, milk, yeah.
It is the maximum walking distance from the door.
Yeah, and think most people go to the supermarket, or a lot of people go to the supermarket just get a couple things, not a whole crap load of stuff.
But they'll make the shopping carts bigger, everything bigger. You feel like you have to buy more.
And that's why they buy more, is because they go to the store to get a couple things, but yet they freaking pile it full of stuff.
Exactly. It is.
I'm gonna pick up milk, honey, and you come back with freaking a whole grocery bag full of stuff.
Yeah, a truckload of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And back in a semi. But
dear Lord.
Yeah, it's all about making money. There's no more of this, small stores, no more of the mom and pop thing. None of that.
What did I tell you? I've been telling you all along. It's all about that money.
Well, I think I mentioned that to you too.
No, I've talked about that ever since before Piece of Tech Ideas.
Oh well, you are very right. No matter who said it. You're very right about that. It's all about making money.
We're both right. We're both right on that one.
Exactly. And the deals.
Just to be clear, guys, I killed Cole in Minecraft about 100 times. Okay, just to be clear. Okay, we're done.
And the deals, you when you get those cards and stuff from the stores, they're supposed to give you wonderful deals. They're only deals on the items they want you to buy.
Yeah.
You buy something else, and you don't get the deal. Isn't it wonderful? You get you buy a bunch of groceries and you look at it. Today you saved $5.
Wow.
Isn't that great?
Saving $5? I mean.
Yeah, you spent like $200, but you saved $5.
Yeah. I could buy another Kit Kat bar.
yeah, I might as well do that too.
Yeah.
And you know how some grocery stores sell flowers, right?
Yeah.
In a lot of cases, they're right by the front doors, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
That's also to make you feel good. So you feel good, and you're like, oh, this is such a natural place. They got flowers here. The wood's supposed to make things feel natural. All that stuff makes you feel better, and you buy more stuff.
Cow, dude. I didn't know all this, man. Holy man, Jesus. I'm sure they're gonna look at supermarkets differently.
Yeah. It's all very well thought out.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And why? Why is it all thought out? Because they want more money.
I think these stores have thousands of locations across the world. And they can't be bothered to pay anybody more than minimum wage.
Pathetic.
But they make like trillions.
Yeah, fucking pathetic. I'm not gonna say it, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I
there is
want to say.
a huge science to how the grocery store, even the chocolate bars,
Mhm.
they have them by the checkout. Why? Because you're standing in line, you're bored, you're waiting.
Or yeah,
I'll probably get one of these. Or you have a little, machine there with, different like water and Coke and all that in it.
yeah.
And you're like, oh, I'm thirsty. I'll have some of that too. And you pay for
When you,
life.
when you have a 2 liter in your bag already, 2 liter
Yeah,
soda
exactly. Like,
or
but I'll save that
2 liter
for
whatever.
later. I'm just gonna buy another one. And you just increase, they make more money doing that too.
I've noticed that a lot of stores don't have a lot of like big supermarkets don't have like Pepsi Cold.
What was it? Cold
So
Pepsi?
yeah, cold Pepsi. It's all warm Pepsi. But then up front or outside the store they
All
have
nice and cold. Yeah.
cold 20 ounces.
Well, that's probably making buy myself because what do you want to do? You want to drink something that's nice and warm. Or you want something that's
Yeah,
ice cold. So the
ice cold.
machines,
Yeah, yeah.
everything is thought out very, very well. Everything's to
Yeah.
make you feel good, so you buy it. Even the music, they want you to buy more with music.
Right down to the damn music, huh?
Everything about it is an absolute science, and it's working very well.
Oh hell yeah, it is. It's not working on me though, but
And even the way things are sitting on the shelf is to make you feel good.
yeah, like
Is to
all like
make
freaking
things look
slanted
good.
and all
Because if
propped
they're
up nice.
all sitting different directions and all that, then it doesn't look as nice.
Yeah, it's like freaking yeah.
And
Yeah,
and
I
they
see.
and they and they showed one store in the stores. They had in one store, their employees were racing one another to see how fast they start at opposite ends of the stores and see how fast it would take them to run through all the aisles, organizing all the items, putting them back the way they should be, facing them properly, and see how long and see who could make it to the middle first.
Holy cow! Which store was this?
Oh, I think it was like it was a UK store, like Tesco or something like that.
Oh, Tesco's, Sainsbury's, Tesco's, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And it's absolute science to it. I tell you. So
I
you didn't
bet.
know that
Well,
grocery stores are like that, eh?
good. No, hell no. I didn't know that, man.
And of course, they make all the departments look nice and specialized.
Yeah.
So it looks like they know
Jeez.
what they're doing, and you buy more stuff.
I couldn't freaking. Oh no, I just.
And those deals where they have like buy one get one free.
Yeah.
Who do you think they charge? Who do you think ends up paying for that in terms of food? Do you think the store ends up getting screwed
No,
over?
the farmers.
Exactly, the farmer gets screwed over.
Yeah.
Isn't it great how that works?
Oh, perfect. Yeah,
Oh
perfect.
yeah.
The lower people on the totem pole get screwed over. The big people, they're good to go.
Yeah, exactly. And even these sales,
Yeah.
everything's on sale, on sale. But nobody ever said that meant less. What was that?
What'd you say?
You know how they have all these items on sale, right? They're always on sale.
Yeah, yeah.
But nobody ever said that meant less.
That's true.
It's all very well thought out. You may end up
They just
spending
think it is.
more
They
on
just
these
think
deals.
it's on sale means it's less.
Because if you were to sit there and really think about doing some math,
They're programmed.
you'd find out you're probably spending just a little more on that than you would if there was no sale.
Yeah, that's what I think. You know, people have become programmed. I mean, they become programmed to think that money is supposed to be paper. You know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like,
that's worth a lot of money, or a lot. That's worth a lot of value, or it has a lot of value as paper.
And you mentioned the shopping carts that are two different sizes. Now,
Yeah.
in the UK, again, they were doing something interesting, too. 2 shopping carts, right?
Mm.
Now, the small shopping cart you'd have to put money into, but the big one you wouldn't have to.
What?
So you'd take
Wow.
the design there is they want you to go for the bigger shopping cart, take the bigger shopping cart, and then you feel obligated to fill up your big shopping cart.
Yeah.
Because then it looks a little odd when you get a huge
with a big
shopping
old,
cart and you just put a jug of milk in there and that's it.
Yeah. Well, they do have
You know?
hand baskets. They do have the little hand baskets.
Yeah, and
Who's
then
gonna carry one around, all like lugging it all around? You know.
yeah, they get heavy
Quite a
after
lot.
a while.
Yeah, they know
Would you
people are
really
lazy out
want to
there.
strain your arm, or do you want to push something big and huge around? Don't mind it. We want you to spend more money.
Yeah.
That's the whole premise of the stores. Make you feel good, so you buy more.
There you go.
And
You heard it
that's
first.
why companies don't care what happens as long as you buy stuff. They really do see you with dollar signs.
Yeah.
Dollar signs that they can manipulate.
Oh hell yeah! They manipulate the hell out of it.
They can make people do whatever they want, however they want. Even advertising, it's so well thought out. If one person didn't want to do something the day before, if you came with a good enough ad, they'd be stupid enough to say, "Yeah, I want that. I want to buy that." You know, really, it's all very well thought out. Even Look at Apple and their simple commercials. That's thought out. Makes
Oh,
the simple commercials make their products look simple.
yeah.
Everybody likes simple.
That is a good quote there. Everybody likes simple.
Exactly. Oh, hang on. I think we got to look at one more story here yet.
Oh, we do?
Yeah,
Oh,
we
boy.
do. We got to look at the First Amendment zones.
Oh yeah, one's gonna be a good one. Yeah, let's get into that.
All right, so that's basically our little talk about grocery stores and the science behind your local grocery store. So just keep that in mind, and when you're looking for a good deal, look at the very bottom of that shelf.
Yes,
You
or
can
on the
find-
side. Go to the very ends of the aisle.
Yeah. Oh, and with bread too.
Yes,
If they ever have bread on shelf, I learned this a long time ago. But they put all the old bread out front. Put your hand either way up top or way in the back. You'll find a nice fresh stuff.
Yeah, I've noticed that too.
Yeah, with a lot of items, they'll put the old stuff out front.
Yeah.
They want you to buy the old stuff, And sometimes.
Same with milk. Same with milk too.
Yeah. You always go for the back too, if you can.
Yeah.
And in a lot of cases too, with grocery stores that really don't care about the customers, the front is always rotten.
Yeah. I don't know what store that is, man.
Yeah, we got them here. Don't worry.
Grocery store.
Yeah, outside grocery store. Actually, another store too here. They were having this outside sale, right? And they had furniture on sale, leather furniture, right?
Yeah.
And they left it outside overnight. What if it rained? And you could look at this furniture and see that it had been rained on, or from the dew in the morning. You could see that there was water on the leather furniture.
Cole,
And some sorry
you have
person
no
was
room
going
to
to buy it.
say. You don't have no room to talk here.
What do you mean?
Okay, you got a wall-mart. Okay, you got a couple of those.
That's Minecraft.
you have a bank. Okay.
At Minecraft though.
Yeah, but you've taken over the corporate world there.
In Minecraft.
And you're good at it too, so.
But you look at this too. In that situation, they were leaving furniture outside. It was getting wet from dew or rain, and they were not going to bother telling you about that part. And you're going to buy it, thinking it's wonderful furniture and being leather, so I can crack on you in a few years, anyways.
In 2 years, yeah. Personally, I don't like leather couches and stuff.
I do, but they're kind of cold to sit on when they're first.
Yeah.
You warm them up. I don't mind them. But either way, it wasn't.
Whoa!
What? All right. Well, I guess Jason is.
Hey, there was an accident. I gotta go.
There's an accident?
Yeah, there was an accident out front of our house. I gotta go. A bad car accident.
All right. Well, I'm gonna finish this up then.
Yeah. I'll be right. I'll be back in, but I gotta go.
All right. How long do you think you'll be?
10, 20 minutes. I gotta help him. This happens quite a bit though.
All right. Well, I'll finish it up then. Anyways, the next article we're gonna be taking a look at is First Amendment zones. First, we got. Let's take a look at this here. So basically, what a First Amendment zone is in a lot of cases they use these zones to basically restrict free speech. As far as I'm concerned, what they do is they take. I'll just read from the article I wrote here. Actually, is what I'm going to do. So let's take a look at the article. So, see, the history of these free speech zones goes back quite a while. Now, basically, what they are is they'll in certain areas, for certain various different reasons, they'll put protests or some of that into free speech zones, generally away from an event that's going on. Now, the history of these so-called free speech zones goes back many years. Even to the 60s, many universities implemented these zones in response to the Vietnam War protests of the time. In the years since, many universities have dropped these zones, but many still have them. In 2007, it was found that 259 of 346 colleges still have policies that restrict free speech in a survey conducted by the Foundation for Individual Rights in Education. The Secret Service implemented these zones during the presidency of George W. Bush. They were implemented in places where Bush was set to speak or pass through. Those who were anti-Bush with anti-Bush signs were directed to these free speech zones, in one case in a baseball field. The Secret Service didn't hassle those who were pro-Bush while admitting to an anti-Bush protester that the content of his sign was the issue. And he did say this. Reporters were not allowed to show or speak with these protesters within the zone, which kind of makes the entire protest a waste of time. What's the point of a protest if no one can hear you? This is an example of blatant censorship as far as I'm concerned. As far as I'm concerned, free speech should be, countrywide, not in specific zones where the government says you can have free speech here, but outside of the zone, no free speech. But here's another problem, too. as you can see with the Bush example, they didn't hassle those who were supportive of President George W. Bush, but they sent those who were against President Bush to a baseball field. Now, if they're going to implement these types of zones, what they should be doing is they should instead, if they're going to implement them, they should send everybody to those zones, whether they're critical of President Bush in this case or supportive of him. Now, a U.S. court decision found that the government can control the time, date, and location of a demonstration, but not the content. But we go back to the Bush example, where a protester was told by a police officer, I believe, that the content of his sign is the issue, and we're going to be sending you to a free speech zone. Isn't that kind of, maybe not directly changing the content? But as far as I'm concerned, it is changing the content. Indirectly, it is changing the content. Oh, Jason's back.
Yeah, I'm back. Wow, that was one loud bang, man. I thought the world was ending or something.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna continue with where I'm going.
Okay, yeah, I was listening. Now which president was it? George Senior or George?
Like I said, George W. Bush. So the second one, yeah.
Junior then, Junior.
Yeah.
The young one, the younger one, yeah.
No, isn't the first one like George H.W. Bush or something like that?
Yeah, George Harold Bush, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, moving on, continuing here. So, like I said, they're indirectly changing the content of these demonstrations. They're not telling you that you need to change your content, but they're saying the content of your sign is the issue. We are going to be moving you to a baseball field, while those people over there who were supportive of President Bush can stay right where they are, and we're not going to bother hassle them.
I have a theory.
Mm-hmm.
I got it written down because I thought it was.
Well, I'm gonna continue with this first. Okay?
Yeah.
Let me finish. So let's take a look at some other of these First Amendment zones in action. In Massachusetts, a law prevents pro-life protesters from expressing their opinions within 35 feet of the entrance of an abortion clinic. Now, one could argue it's for the safety, which they did, of the clinic's clients and of the protesters somehow. And it could make the clients of the clinic feel better, because they don't have to feel the pressure from these protesters who are basically saying what they're doing is wrong. We're not going to turn this into an argument on abortion, but once again you're kind of limiting these people to what they can do. Yes, you can say that, yeah, it could be an issue for those clients of the clinic, but if it's on a public sidewalk, don't they have the right to gather on that public sidewalk? Don't they have the right to express their opinion on that public sidewalk? And moving on here to another example, after the 1999, actually here's something else, it's interesting too. After the 1999 World Trade Organization in Seattle, the United States Court of Appeals found that it was unlawful to deem parts of downtown Seattle off limits to political protesters, yet we continue to see them limiting areas to just about every protester. And although this continues to today, this does continue to today. Just a few weeks ago, Alex Jones, I'm sure you've probably heard of him, ran into one of these zones because him and his protesters were demonstrating against, basically saying that they didn't want any more lies, saying that they didn't believe in the official JFK story like most Americans don't.
Yeah, I know.
Now, looking at these examples, of course with George Bush too, keep that an example. You keep George W. Bush in mind as well. Looking at those examples, all of these laws and all these free speech zones and all these situations are doing is censoring an unfavorable opinion, at least from the standpoint of the government. In the case of George W. Bush, anti-Bush protesters were essentially silenced, and all of these opinions are silenced. And looking at the mainstream media, they don't bother covering it. The only one that I found that did bother covering it was CNN 9 years ago, in 2004, while covering their use at the 2004 Democratic National Convention, where free speech zones are fenced in, topped with razor wire, and not visible from what's called the Fleet Center, where this convention is being held. Now, you look at these zones, and I'm going to get them on screen for viewers here, but you look at these zones, and they look like something out of a third world country.
Oh, man. Let's take a look at it.
So let's pull this up on screen for our viewers here, and take a look at this here. Does this look like a nice little place? That's a free speech zone.
Wow.
Great, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it is. It's
and
awesome.
they're putting people in these, and these people, they put them in these free speech zones. Basically, as far as I'm concerned, censoring them. The mainstream media can't, well, first of all, isn't necessary. They don't want them covering it. And second of all, which they did come out and say during Bush.
Yeah.
And second of all, nobody wants to try real journalism and get into these free speech zones, interview these people, show these people, and bring attention to what is going on. Nobody wants.
I really want to tell you my theory. You said the young Bush, the son, was the one that implemented this free speech zone.
Yeah, young Bush. Yeah.
Okay. Here I got it written down. Okay. This could have happened. Why was it Junior? My theory is because maybe they knew that all this stuff was going to happen. Maybe knew the economy was going downhill then. Maybe they knew there's going to be a lot of uprisings, so they wanted to implement these type of zones to control all this stuff, to control all the preaching and all the Alex Jones rant or talking out in the public. They want to control that and kind of get it away from everyone, so they can't really find out what's really going on. And well, that's why it was implemented back then. That's a theory of mine, because I mean, look at the was there any of this back in the Vietnam?
Well, yeah, like I was about to say, these free speech zones have been around for like 50, 60 years. There's nothing new.
Well, then how come
they were especially very well implemented during the Vietnam War protests.
Yeah. Well, I thought the article stated that it was implemented by George W. Bush.
Even more so during his presidency than anything before.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So other presidents didn't necessarily use them. When Bush came in power, the second one, that's when you see more of these. And so you look at the CNN article. Actually, I thought it was actually a good article.
Yeah.
But here's the problem.
Wow, CNN too, huh?
Yeah, 9 years ago. That's probably why. Yeah. So you look at it. It's a good article, but here's the problem. CNN and nobody else has bothered covering free speech zones since.
Ever since
when I can find more recent, when they were used more recently in Dallas, like 3 weeks ago. Nobody wants to cover that except Alex Jones, in the obviously the smaller independent media. So already you can see a lot of censorship, and of course I looked at some other news sources as well. Nothing comes up. So if they have covered them, then they don't appear in Google search, or maybe they did it on TV. Or
so would you be one of the protesters to talk to the or one of the people to talk to these protesters, or would you be a protester, or would you be one of the protesters?
Depends what it is, but I'd love to talk to some of these people if I had the chance.
Yeah.
And like you can see a lot of censorship. At least because when they're telling the mainstream, they're telling the media in general, you can't show these people, you can't talk to these people, but they're in, from what I understand, a public park, and you can take pictures in a public park, and you can take video in a public park, and you can talk in a public park. So I don't see why you can't talk to these people. Censorship, there.
Honestly, people, do you actually think that this country is all about freedom? Do you think we're America, we're free? We're not, because obviously this is a great example right here that free speech is not okay in this country with the government.
Yeah, see, free speech apparently is only applicable in certain situations, in certain areas where the government deems it acceptable, where nobody's going to see you. Because you look at all these free speech zones, they're not where people are going to see you. They're in the middle of nowhere. They are hidden up against a wall so no one can see you. Or in one case, they look like a third world country. And people are okay with this because, one, and the reason I think a lot of people are okay with it is because they don't realize it exists and they don't think they can change it.
Wow.
The mainstream media could easily turn this around by showing these people, showing the world what is going on. And the interesting thing is, this is used in other parts of the world too. In Canada, they were used in Ottawa. It's a few years ago. Free speech zones they used in Ottawa for some sort of meeting. I think I mentioned it right here. Yeah, used in Ottawa back in 2007 during the Security and Prosperity Partnership of North America, some sort of meeting. And these zones, but the use of these zones is a little different than what happens in the U.S. And I guess I didn't mention this earlier, but these zones were voluntary. You didn't have to use them. In the U.S., you don't use them, you get arrested for not using them.
Wow.
That's how it works. In the U.S., they arrest you if you don't use the zone. At least in Canada, it was an optional thing. You want to use it, fine, go ahead. If you don't.
Do they still have that, or is it now?
It was just for that particular meeting.
Oh, okay.
And the interesting thing is they're also used in Hong Kong, and they're also used in the Philippines, where they're called freedom parks. but to me,
Freedom
it kind of
Park?
sounds more like oppression parks.
Yeah, oppression parks. That's a good word. We'll start dubbing these places oppression parks now.
Exactly, or
They're free
oppression
speech.
zones.
Yeah, oppression zones.
In the article too, they have a sign that says First Amendment area. This area has been set aside for individuals or groups exercising their constitutional First Amendment rights. The National Park Service.
The moment they created these zones, that's the moment they threw away the First Amendment.
And this is what the sign says too. This area has been set aside for individuals or groups exercising their constitutional First Amendment rights. The National Park Service neither encourages nor discourages or otherwise endorses these activities and receives no funds in relation to these activities. My problem is, why do they have to set off one particular area for this? Shouldn't it be just about everywhere?
Yeah, it's free speech.
If the free speech is going on in somebody's backyard and they're not supposed to be there, okay, fine, send them up.
I honestly think that the government thinks they brainwash us into believing that this is true, or they think that they brainwash us into thinking that this is okay. Well, there's a few out there that like me and you that don't think it's okay, but there's a lot out there that think it's okay. They're okay with it.
Oh yeah, in the government,
and that's
they don't care about your rights.
Yeah, no,
that's how it works.
So I want to do something for the people real quick, okay? Wake up! Wake up! You need a smack in the face. Wake the hell up.
Well, a lot of people need to wake up because they sit there and going, First Amendment zones, that's good. That's good. Oh, Black Friday, that's good. Wake up! Black Friday is a scam! First Amendment zones are unconstitutional!
A petition to have a police state. Let's sign it. Let's go ahead and sign it.
And when you people sign petitions for having a police state, a Nazi-style police state, how stupid are you people? Wake up!
Wake up! Wake up! Wake up!
People really do. They sign petitions for implementing a Nazi-style police state in North America.
And they smile about it and think it's okay.
They think they've done a good job.
Yeah, we signed a petition.
Nazi-style police state, yeah!
What is? They're brainwashed. That's what it is. They're brainwashed.
You don't even have to know about history to know any.
Yeah.
If it starts with Nazi, it's probably not very good.
Exactly.
You don't have to know what the Nazi police state was all about. Just the Nazi, that should be good enough.
So I'm going to ask you guys out there, what is going through your heads? You know? Honestly. Are you like a part human, part cyborg or something? Because how can you be like that? How can you?
Well, here's an interesting thing too. With television, I was watching a documentary, an Alex Jones documentary, and he mentioned this too. I don't have anything to back it, but I'm just assuming he's correct. The documentary is correct. I think they did a fair bit of research to it. It's very well put together, as all of his documentaries are. But they say the flicker rate on the television puts your brain in a state that basically just takes in whatever. Your brain is in a state. It puts it in a different state, and it's hard to explain, but it's basically why it's programming. Your brain is in a different state while you're watching the TV. This is the rate that the television flickers at.
That's crazy. And this is a documentary?
Yeah, from Alex Jones, yeah. InfoWars.
That's just a TV. That's just a TV. So what else can they do to program you?
The thing about your television, all the shows and all the pictures run at 30 frames a second.
Yeah.
And of course you increase that and stuff like that, but if it could put your brain in a different state, you got to wonder. If your mind is running in a different way while watching the TV, probably tell you anything. That's probably why I don't know, but people.
Cole, I understand. I've been feeling this way ever since I was 15 years old.
Yeah,
it's like
I understand Alex Jones too.
Yeah, I woke up and was awoke to everything that's going on when I turned 15, and you are as well now. So.
Yeah.
Join the club.
Exactly.
And now you're gonna be frustrated the rest of your life now.
You tell,
welcome.
Like Mark Dice, he goes out having people sign ridiculous petitions in San Diego. People signed petitions titled. It's just titled. This makes it official. You are a moron.
They signed it.
People signed it. Only one guy, an old guy, said, "What is this? I am a moron."
Yeah, and that tells you right there. Maybe younger generation has something to play with this. You know.
The interesting thing is though, apparently the younger generation is more against the government and understands it isn't working very well.
Well, that's because it's a popular thing to be. But when it comes down to the brass tacks, as they say, they wouldn't be against the government. They would be all.
No.
The
You
only
want
reason
your
why
free stuff, or
a lot of them are against the government is because it's popular. A lot of people are starting to, outlash or be away from the government, whatever the term is. You know,
here's I've seen
be the
this too.
outcast. Be the outcast.
I seen this on a Facebook page. I remember what it was. Basically, it said, pay the politicians minimum wage and watch how fast change comes.
Oh hell yeah! I'd love for that to happen. I'd love for that. Even my dad would love for that to happen.
Because right now they all make like $400,000 or $600,000 a year.
Yeah. He talks about that all the time.
These people are not poor, and that is why they listen to the rich. They don't care. The U.S. Congress never listened to the poor ever.
No.
And the middle class, well, every now and then they'll listen to them.
Yeah.
But if you're rich and you got money, oh yeah, we'll do whatever you want.
And that is why the people are starting to see that, and that's why the people are starting to be the same way with the politicians, what they're doing.
And of course, in school they always teach you your vote is so powerful. Your vote is this and that. You should always vote. They teach you that in school. And your vote is the most amazing thing. Now, what they really need to start teaching is money is your voice.
Yeah.
In governments. Screw the votes. First of all, chances are you're just voting for a bunch of people that are terrible, anyways. Most of them. Every now and then you get a good politician, but it's not very often. And the vote's useless, really.
Dude, I want to ask you real quick. Do you think the people have the final say in who gets elected?
The final say, honestly,
who has the most say? Is it the people, or is it like these big Bohemian Grove characters or whatever?
Well, technically, we're supposed to have the biggest say. Technically, we're supposed to on paper.
How many times have they lied to us?
But exactly, sure.
How much is going behind closed doors that they don't?
Going back to what I said about the vote and how it's useless. What the vote is to make you feel good. Mm-hmm. So if it's to make you feel good, and waste of time anyways. Yeah.
As long as the people feel good, even though if they're being lied to.
This is kind of going into talking about globalists and all that too.
Yeah.
But
globalists.
If they're really, and of course you could really combine the conspiracy theorists.
There you go. I knew you were going to say it. Conspiracy theorists.
But is it possible that government could just throw in whoever they want without the people knowing? Yeah, that's what doors are for.
So nowadays, if you have an opinion, you're a conspiracy theorist. If you have opinion about anything, you're a conspiracy theorist.
If you think the sky is blue, you're a conspiracy theorist.
Oh boy.
That hat you're wearing is black. Conspiracy theorist.
It's black and white, like anonymous flag or whatever.
You're wearing glasses. Conspiracy theorist.
Oh, you are too there. Oh, you got long hair, Cole. Like conspiracy theorist.
Or and it's interesting. In the mainstream media, this shows, like going back to the First Amendment zone. It's not. First of all, it shows how the mainstream media is a failure. Most of the mainstream media is garbage. The only one that CNN, they did pretty good in 2004. On this article. I thought it was a good article. It was
until the corporate sucked their hands into them.
But you look at nobody else is bothered covering the First Amendment zones, or as CNN called them, the free
That's
speech
why I was
zones.
shocked about it when you brought this article to my attention. I was like, what?
And so that part's really interesting. So good job on CNN.
Yeah.
Now my question is, why there's a lot of whys to this. Why can't the mainstream media look at this stuff? And of course, obviously, because they all make too much money. Like you look at some of the people on CNN, like
why?
TV,
because they don't have the final say. They're being controlled.
You watch CNN and you're like, oh, those are everyday people. They don't make millions. They are richer than their viewers.
Yeah.
All their little people that they got on TV. Yeah, sure. And then you wonder why they only get one side of the story. You pay somebody millions, they'll say whatever you want. Especially when they have them reading off a teleprompter.
Oh, yeah, of course. And I think sometimes the scripts need to be approved, or like the teleprompter or whatever, they need to be approved by somebody. Like if it's a very touchy subject or topic you're talking about, somebody needs to look at it. Maybe like Men in Black come up or something.
Even newspapers too. You write an article, and let's say you're looking at something, and you're supposed to call somebody a conspiracy theorist. If you don't write a good article about them, explaining, hey, these people, they're onto something. Maybe
exactly. No, you're not.
And then it gets sent to the editor, and this is what happens.
Yeah.
You're fired. You do real journalism, you're fired.
Yeah, that's why a lot of people, a lot of journalists are going into their own business
That's why
basically.
the mainstream media is picking, and not mainstream media. That's why the independent alternative media
Yeah,
is picking
there you
up.
go. There you go. Yeah.
Because they're not bound by these corporate interests like we aren't.
What's our slogan? What's our slogan called?
Not bound by corporate interests.
There you go.
They're not bound by that,
No.
and they don't have that problem because there's a lot of different bias, like corporate bias. If you make a company look bad, it's not good.
What I like, I want to say this real quick because it's on my mind. What I like about News in General is that we share these articles, these stories out there, and then we give them our opinions on it, and we share our opinions and see how they differ or see how they're similar.
Yeah.
And also get yours as well, the viewers, and that's what I like about it.
Yeah.
And not many other news organizations do that. They just say the news and then that's it.
Like you want, like on television, you watch your 6 o'clock news, and they're all reading teleprompters. They're all limited to like a 60-minute broadcast, but with all the commercials more or less limited to about 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And then you wonder why you miss so much of the story. All these stories are one-sided stories, and you look at, CNN, and all these newspapers, television networks are all owned by the same company too.
Yeah.
In a lot of cases, in Canada, there's like 30 different newspapers and television, TV channels are owned by the same company. All news.
Yeah. Turner Broadcasting, TBS, that's owned by a couple. No. Turner Broadcasting owns a couple of other stations.
And looking at CNN here, Time Warner owns them. Who do you think owns Time Magazine?
Oh, Time Warner owns them?
Yeah.
Jeez, man. Maybe they're listening to my.
They also own Time Magazine, own CNN, and various other things.
I didn't know they owned. I didn't know they owned Time Magazine. Too. Whole Life.
Life magazine, yeah.
Life
it's
magazine?
not a magazine anymore, but was.
Yeah.
Website.
Wow. Website like News in General.
Yeah. And it is the bias you see in media today is just, you'd be blown away. Everything's one-sided. It's this and that. And another interesting thing is too, is you watch, let's say, your local news, right? And you probably have multiple different local news channels in your area, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Now, it's true here. I'm not sure about there. It probably is.
Mm.
I'd almost bet money on it. When you change to a different news channel, is it the exact same story at the exact same time, or the story before or after? Is it very similar in order?
Very similar. Most of the time it's very similar. Yeah.
Very similar, right? So and chances are the way it's reported, it's probably reported in the exact same way by different people on different channels, right?
Most likely.
And you sure get a variety of different opinions when you're watching the news on TV. This and this happened today. Next channel. This and it's the exact same thing on every single channel.
Yeah. And if they speak out of line, it gets cut.
Yeah, or if they're doing it live, they get taken to the office.
Sorry for technical difficulties.
Yeah, or they get.
And then also there's a new anchor guy on there or something.
Yeah, they pull him aside to the office and reprimand him. You're fired.
Yeah. Here's your severance or whatever. Get out of here.
You did real journalism. How dare you? How dare you were to read the teleprompter and do nothing but that.
And that's why we're against corporate.
And right now, sure, earlier I read off of my article, but for what we're doing right now, this is all just coming out of our minds right now. At least it is for me.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why, and we want to get your opinions, the viewers. We want to get.
And that's why we sometimes stumble, but that's how everyday people do it. Like, you watch on TV, and they all. Everything's all so perfect.
We're not reading off the teleprompter. We're not doing any of that. We're getting our opinions out there and sharing it with you guys, and also telling you about the news stories and how we feel on it. That's how I see it.
Everything is so perfect. Everything looks so perfect. Everything, they have.
And they got that corporate money too. I mean.
Yeah, they wear makeup in some cases.
Oh,
look good on the TV.
Even the men. Yeah.
Yeah, even the men. Yeah. Everybody on the TV.
I used to do I used to do the morning news show for my high school actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was the sound guy.
Oh, wow.
I did the mics and the soundboard and everything, the music, all that good stuff. Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it. I mean, I can still do it. It's easy.
Oh, yeah.
Get me a soundboard, I'll be good to go.
There you go.
A couple of mics.
But it is so interesting, going back to the school thing I mentioned earlier, that they teach you your vote counts.
Yeah. And then you go out.
I seen this on TV a while back. It was local election, right? Yeah. And they were showing they had these elementary students standing on the street, so a sign saying your vote counted.
Yeah, I sure did.
like, maybe locally, maybe, but even
Yeah,
then,
locally, like for mayor, and
yeah. Like, but here's the problem. Then looking even here, just in the city, 30% of the city's population bothers voting. That's it. Nobody else actually cares. That's like 100 or 200,000 of like 800.
So I want to bring up a controversial topic real quick before we end the show.
Go ahead. Yeah, tons of time.
I heard that there was a mix-up with George W. Bush and Al Gore's count or whatever. Al Gore was supposed to win.
Yeah, there was a big controversy about that now.
Yeah, so I believe it was Florida's. Some of Florida's
Florida,
votes
the counter, yeah, they weren't
count.
counted properly in Florida, yeah.
And Al Gore would have won. And I honestly wanted him to. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder how things would be different.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we wouldn't have gone to war in Iraq.
Yeah, I mean, there could be.
Because there's a big controversy over why we went to war in Iraq, with what happened with Bush's father.
Yeah, I think a lot of the wars. Yeah, a lot of the wars in the Middle East, I think, are just kind of pointless for a lot of our countries to get involved.
I honestly agree with going to Afghanistan, places like Afghanistan, maybe Iran.
If we can actually help, then go ahead.
Yeah.
But I think in some cases, maybe the West makes things worse.
Because Afghanistan was basically run by terrorists, anyways. I mean, the people there, and the people there are paying the terrorists, not to kill them.
Yeah, it's a mad, mad world.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm glad. Thankful. Finally somebody says thankful. With that damn Thanksgiving stuff going on. I'm thankful that we're over here in the United States and rarely have to deal with that.
Yeah, Thanksgiving should be a day to be thankful for what you have.
Yeah, not outside of Target and be greedy and think of what types of gifts you're gonna get.
And am I criticizing the woman that was the woman with her kids and not having Thanksgiving dinner outside of Target? Yeah, I am criticizing her.
Well, free speech, buddy. Free speech. Go ahead.
I'm not going to sugarcoat things. I am, and it is my right to criticize. He goes, what does that teach the kids?
Every Thanksgiving, go sit in front of Target.
Yeah, you have your own family. Don't have Thanksgiving at your home with your family. Sit outside of Target.
And think of all the goodies that are inside that you can buy.
Yeah, exactly. Like, why?
Opposite of being thankful.
Yeah, exactly.
Being greedy.
Sitting outside of a Target. That's just what blows my mind away.
Being selfish and greedy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did we do call-ins? No, I guess we didn't do call-ins for this show, did we?
Oh no, we did not do call-ins.
Well, we have 2 viewers right now.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Are you on it or no?
No.
All right, let me go on it and see. See if there's any comments. Yeah.
But yeah, just amazing how the government works. But as far as I'm concerned, at this point, since the people do not have any say in how the government works, the government is a broken system. As far as I'm concerned. I can't hear you, Jason. Oh.
We got some comments from Mr. Hyder.
Oh, we do?
Yep. And this one 1 hour ago. In the UK, we have PCSO, Community Support Officers. Police community support officers are helping to reduce crime and antisocial behavior across London. They are making people feel safer in their homes and within their communities, closing the gap between the reality and the fear of crime.
Yeah, isn't everything just so you...
He's talking about the Thanksgiving Black Friday.
I wonder if he was watching while we were talking about the UK.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Talking about all those wonderful grocery stores there. And, of course, obviously the same methods I would almost bet money on are used all over the world. And, obviously, Walmart operates in the UK as well, just under a different banner.
Yeah.
They operate under Asda.
Asda, yeah.
Yeah.
And I've heard of that in some British movies.
Yeah. So
I honestly say I love watching movies from England and stuff, like British.
Yeah, that's Walmart out there. And I guess you got some other stores there too. And it's interesting.
Asda, Sainsbury's.
Yeah, they had various
Tesco.
Other stores there too. And of course, looking at Spain, they interviewed the guy that was running this one Spanish chain that did actually at one point run a company in the UK as well, a grocery store.
Holy cow!
And he went off to Spain to go run a different grocery store.
Wow. Spain. I want to go to Spain, actually. I want to see
I
what it's
would.
like there.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah. You
maybe,
would?
maybe if I actually do learn something in my Spanish class, I can do it.
Yeah, you can't. You're Canadian. You can't even speak French.
But
Uh,
that I guess that we might as well end it off here soon. But
yeah, yeah.
that is how the government, like I said, is a broken system.
Yeah, it's broken. It's broken. Everything about it's broken. I mean, it's doomed to collapse soon. You know,
You pay them,
it's a
like
matter of time, honestly.
pay them what the average person would get. You might see
Yeah.
some real change.
And it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
No, because all these people, they're rich and they help the rich.
And they're greedy. Yeah, and they're
But
greedy.
if you're right in the middle, if you're right in the middle, so you help both sides, including the middle.
So
equally.
I want to make sure everyone writes down in the comments below, because it looks like we have another viewer, unless if that's Cole.
No.
Make sure to write down in the comments below. Let us know what you guys think of all the topics. All the articles, the links will be in the description, so check them out. And you can also comment on those articles as well. If you have an idea about something or an opinion, just write it down in the comments.
Maybe write to your local politicians.
Yeah.
See what they think.
Also, I'd love to hear on how was your Black Friday, and find out if you had any knives pulled out on you, or stun guns pulled out on you, or fist fights.
Yeah, Black Friday is just nuts, and of course,
it's
mainstream
ridiculous.
media, like I said, is a failure. All the mainstream media reporters, you ask them a question. I cannot say.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. See, we're reporting on the stuff that matters, and here we just got a post from Huffington Post. This manipulated recording of Jennifer Lawrence.
Who cares? Who cares?
Who cares? It's a manipulated recording of an actress or whatever.
Here's the sad part. You brought up a very good point, and I think I may have mentioned this in some article. Here's another failure of the mainstream media.
Yeah,
Here's what happens, though. In the mainstream media, what happens is they commonly report on things that are popular, things they have made popular.
Yeah.
That's the keyword. They've made this stuff popular.
Oh, yeah.
These celebrities would be nothing without the mainstream media.
Yeah, exactly.
Without all these dumb scandals.
I think they're all one. They're like, you scratch my back, I scratch yours.
Yeah, the dumb scandals, they go nuts over the pictures the paparazzi get, all of it, and they focus on this, pop culture type thing. But then when something really happens, let's say a real politician dies, or something, or a real politician does something, or an absolute tyranny, or an absolute tyranny is breaking out, and they won't report on it. What tyranny? What are you talking about? The government just got rid of all your rights. That's okay. That's good, right? Anyways, that's how they'll report it like that. They'll spend like 45 minutes on some crap that doesn't matter, and then maybe 1 minute at the end of the show. By the way, all your rights no longer exist. They threw those on. Have a good night, people. Really, that's how it works. Unfortunately, on TV and online, even in newspapers. You know what else they'll do in newspapers?
What's that?
With good stories.
Yeah.
Hide them in the back with a boring title so you never read them.
That pisses me off.
So let's say there's a massacre or a bunch of people die.
Yeah.
So give it a boring title, throw it in the back of the newspaper, and nobody ever reads it.
Well, let's get this straight. A massacre involving the politicians or not important people.
Yeah, 300 people died, and they'll put it in the back of and give it a boring title. Or they'll manipulate something too. Because think about this: you can manipulate a story just by changing a few words.
A few words. Yeah.
Protesters. Were arrested. That sounds pretty bad, right? Peaceful protesters were arrested today. That sounds pretty bad, right?
Yeah.
But then you go, terrorists were arrested today.
Oh no! Yeah.
or there's a lot of ways you can change it. Or even if you look at stories in the Middle East, a lot of people apparently will say that live in the Middle East will tell you what you see in our media is all wrong. It's all garbage. What is this?
All garbage.
They don't know what half this stuff is. And they're living it, and they don't know what it is.
Have you ever heard of Jesse Ventura?
Yes, he used to have that show on
Conspiracy Theories. Yeah. I believe he's part citizen in Mexico. He goes out to Mexico for 6 months of the year and then goes back to the United States.
Yeah.
And he said if he could, he would live in Mexico 24 hours a day, all his life.
Wow.
He would never come back to the United States.
It's such a different culture down in Mexico too.
He said, and he lives off the grid too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm a big supporter of Jesse Ventura as well as Alex Jones.
Yeah, he was a politician at one point too, wasn't he?
Yeah. He was a governor of Michigan, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it is.
And a wrestler, and a Navy SEAL.
See, when I look for stories to write about, I don't go, okay, let's celebrity news. I don't give a crap. Here, if I don't like like, I can't stand reading about celebrities. So I'm not going to write about them.
Yeah, there you go.
If I find something boring, it's no sense to me writing about it.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Unless if it's because Nelson Mandela is kind of a celebrity, if you will. I mean, he's like, you know.
I don't. Well, yeah, he did a lot of things. Like, you know,
Yeah,
I want to read up on him, see what, you know, the story's really all about, because you know, the mainstream media tends to focus on one part.
One part.
You know, right?
Yeah.
I'd like to see what the rest of it is. What he did during that one part, yeah, he did a wonderful job. Great on him for that. I want to see what the rest of it is.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
I'm a big supporter of what he did, but it is the mainstream media, like I said, failure.
Yeah, I would also for the viewers, I would like to do an announcement at the end of the show. Some little changing up with the news in general stuff.
And here's the scary part too. People, for some reason, actually care about the lives of these celebrities, but
don't get me wrong. I care about lives. I care about people in general.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying like, I'm saying like what goes on in their life is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. Like, if they've broken out.
Yeah, I think you misunderstood me. Like, what goes on in their life? They got a new boyfriend, got married, had a baby,
yeah. I got you.
So somehow people are brainwashed into caring about that stuff. But let's say somebody else has a baby. You don't see them on the news.
No.
They broke up with their boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever. You don't see that on the news. Yeah. They're getting a divorce. You don't see that on the news.
Yeah.
They had a baby. You know, but as soon as a celebrity does that, you have like thousands of paparazzi swarming them. You got them on every single news network around the world.
Exactly. And that's why I don't focus on the celebrities for news in general, and neither do you.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
it's not news.
Important. It's not important. It's not what matters.
It is not news unless they're doing something absolutely amazing. It's not news.
No. Yeah, unless if they're exactly. Except for when Paul Walker, passed away. I mean, that was news.
That was news, obviously. Even if it wouldn't have been Paul. Well, if it wouldn't have been Paul Walker, though, it would have been somebody else. Here's the sad part: if it wouldn't have been anybody else, it would have only been local news.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like a couple days ago, or maybe it might have been earlier today. I think last night. Two of my dad's high school friends passed away.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And I doubt that's not on the whole news in Maine. It's not broadcasted. It's probably on the local news or maybe on the radio station.
Obituaries or something, yeah.
Yeah, in the obituaries, yeah. But I mean, it's not like.
But if those two people would have been a celebrity.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it would have blown up everywhere.
The whole world would have stopped.
Yeah.
And of course, it would have been the entire world too. Not just. It's just amazing. Yeah. Honestly, the mainstream media, I think, partially, if not entirely, is brainwashing.
Oh yeah, they're part of it. They're part of it. They got their hands in the witch pot.
They somehow make people care about stories that really don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Even back when CNN was covering what was going on with Trayvon Martin. Obviously, I had a lot to say on that story. I felt very strongly about that story. I watched it a lot, and but they would focus more after the trial. During the trial, they focused more on George Zimmerman, the guy that shot Trayvon Martin.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I don't agree with the way the case turned out, because he got off scot-free. And anyways, the point I'm trying to make here is they spent like 45 minutes covering that story, and for like the last 10 minutes, they covered what was going on in Syria at the exact same time. Like thousands being killed by the government.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's what I noticed that actually. I noticed that.
Their own government was like blowing people up, blowing their own citizens up.
It was kind of hidden. It was kind of hidden, like hidden away almost.
They would spend just a little bit of time on that, but they'll popularize stories, make you care about it, but then at the very end, here's what's happening in Syria. This is
happening, but let's not worry about this. Let's take a look at this, because this is more important.
Like, people should be shocked at this. Their own government is killing their own people. Like, that is when you go like, oh, gee,
So let's not care about this. Let's look at this, But
am I saying you shouldn't care about what happened to Trayvon Martin?
Yeah, you should care.
You should very well care about that. You care about both sides.
You should care.
What happened? Obviously, I think what George Zimmerman did, from what the story was, I don't know what the hell was going through his mind.
No.
But that's not how you are. That's not neighborhood watch in action. That's just murder.
That's not neighborhood watch in action.
Oh, I think about it, walking around with iced tea and what
Yeah.
chocolate bars, and oh, it really, in the end, that just came, as far as I was concerned, it probably came down to racism in some
Racism.
sense.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Some sense. Yeah.
and of course, interesting thing is too, like when something happens, like a big shooting.
Hmm.
Once again, obviously, it's terrible that it happens. Very,
Yes.
very sad. And obviously, I offer my condolences or whatever to families that are going through something like that. Obviously a mass shooting. So I'm getting at. And here's the sad part, though. They then blame all gun owners for it.
That is very
All
sad.
gun
Yeah.
owners are to blame.
Oh, we're confiscating guns now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. All gun owners are to blame for one person.
one person's mistake. Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, you do want to blame the one guy that did it? Yeah, you blame him. But you don't blame all the other gun owners.
You know what? I would always thought, what if people that killed other people, we gave that person that killed that person another chance? Like, we ask them, would you do this again, or if you could go back in time, would you do the same thing? Would you kill a person, again, knowing that how you feel now and what you went through now after you killed the person?
Well,
like,
I think with a lot of people, I'm not saying with all people. I think a lot of people though.
Would it?
Treatment makes more sense.
Yeah.
Because you think about this, I mentioned this before, you put them in jail, and you put them with other criminals that teach them how to be better criminals.
How to be better, yeah. How is that?
So how is this efficient? When they get out, you're putting better criminals back on the street. You haven't actually reformed them. You just made them better is what you did. Better in one sense and worse in the other sense.
Worse, yeah, exactly.
Like, why would you do that?
I couldn't tell you, Cole. I couldn't tell you. Maybe the viewers could. So write down in the comments.
Yeah, maybe. It is absolutely shocking how things work now.
Stupidity.
And of course, everything everything is for the safety of something, for someone, for the children. That's how everything is now. You notice that? That's how the government. That's how the government, justifies it. In some cases, yeah, I understand it. But I think the government does a lot of generalizing.
Yeah.
Especially with that gun owner example.
Oh yeah, that was a good example too.
Because all gun owners are.
All the problem.
You have a gun for self-defense? How dare you?
They could turn it around though. They could say, oh well, you're blaming all the politicians when there's only one problem with one politician or something,
I don't think it's one politician though at this point.
No, I think it's the whole system. I think.
Yeah, is there good politicians in there? Yeah, and that's why I wouldn't support getting rid of all of them. But you got to look at some of these politicians and go, come on. Do you really think these people are doing a good job?
No.
Anyways, we're almost at 2 hours on this show.
Oh yeah, let's get her ended here, guys.
Yeah, let's get her ended.
All right, let me do the announcement real quick. Most likely, or not most likely, from now on, I will be doing. I think it's going to be me, right? Is that right, Cole? Or will you be doing it as well?
I might do a little bit, but
I'm going
to be focusing on writing.
Here's the news. Cole is going to be focusing on writing. I'm going to be focusing on getting videos out there. So basically, I'm going to be reporting on news or stories that I find interesting that I think other people will be interested. But mostly on the breaking news stuff. I'm going to try to get those videos out there as fast as I can. Report on them. Tell you how I feel. Tell you the facts of the story. What I'm getting from other sources. And also, I want to try to get some of your news out there as well. Like stories at your place, at your house, in your community, basically. So if you have any stories or anything like that, let me know. You can message me on Twitter at Jason Goyette, or you can message Cole at CK270, right?
270, yeah. CK270.
Yeah, CK270 on Twitter. And I really like to know what you guys think of all these ideas and articles and stories. Write down in the comments, please.
And if you watch the entire thing, leave a comment below. I'd be surprised.
Write tyranny down below.
Tyranny, yes. Anyways, that is it for this week's live stream, and we'll be live next week, right?
Yeah.
All right. So we'll see you next week.
We'll be
live.
Right?
Yeah. So we'll be live next week at the exact same time every Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern. And thank you for joining us tonight.
Podcast.
And there you go. And have a great night, and thank you for watching. More than this, which is just that dumb. very, very dumb. If the neighbors don't care, I don't think that the city should be making a big deal out of it. If the neighbor's okay with it, then fine. Let him raise his backyard chickens. Let him raise his let him grow his garden, let him raise his chickens, let him raise his rabbits. With all the GMO you got in today's food, all the unhealthy stuff you got in today's food, the stuff that he had and probably still has is probably better for you than anything you'd find at your local grocery store. You know, chocked full of all these wonderful chemicals that, if you did any research, would probably find that are carcinogens and will kill you.
Oh yeah. Hey, I got a question now. Are they doing anything about the rabbits, or is it just the chickens itself?
Well, I would imagine probably the rabbits too, because if you go back to the city ordinance, it states it is unlawful for a person to keep livestock, that's keyword, within the city except by written consent of the council or except in compliance with the city's zoning regulations. Obviously, the council doesn't want them raising chickens. I wonder why.
And also, I want to make it clear that an ordinance, a city ordinance, doesn't mean if you break that ordinance or whatever, doesn't mean you broke a crime, right? Am I correct?
No, yeah, you know, it's not necessarily a crime.
Or you committed a crime.
Yeah, it's just basically a law within the city.
Yeah,
You know, unless the,
so what's interesting is he could get put in jail if you break the city.
Yeah, I've never heard of an ordinance that does that before.
So I thought if you do commit a crime, then you get put in jail. Not a city ordinance. You know, city ordinance is you get a fine, like you said earlier.
Even the $600 fine, even if they didn't have this 30-day thing, and honestly, this probably just get dropped anyways. I'm hoping it does.
Oh yeah, me too.
Like, first of all, the guy's a veteran. He serves for your country, and then, oh well, you know, we're gonna give you this and that. Oh, we're gonna throw you in jail too.
Because that can also say, is this like a thing where it's like a corporate thing or like a government thing, or, you know, a conspiracy thing, where they're like, oh, we don't want people to be self.
Well, is it a corporate thing? It could be. Just think about this, Jason.
So he's growing his own food basically, and not spending money on the food that, you know, the supermarkets provide.
When you start growing your own food, you're right. You know, if you do become self-sufficient, you have no need to go to any grocery store to buy any of their food.
Yeah,
and that means they're not making enough money. Now, if this trend were to pick up, let's say none of these stupid ordinances or laws or anything didn't exist anywhere, and this trend did, you know, gain a little bit of traction, and if a whole bunch of people started doing this, that could be a huge hit to the grocery industry, because now they're losing money. All their customers are not coming back to the stores. Instead, they're buying chickens, putting them in their backyards, and planting their own food.
Because I mean, once you see somebody doing that, once you see somebody being healthy and growing their own food and stuff, you kind of want to do that too. You know, you want to give it a try and see if you can do it, because you can see that person living happier, a healthier lifestyle. You want that too. Yeah. So it's kind of like, well, maybe the corporate world or whatever, the government doesn't want people to see that, so they punish the guy for what he's doing. You know. That way people don't see what he's doing and try to do it themselves.
I've actually thought about growing some food too. I thought about growing watermelons.
Oh, yeah, I did that. I had a garden all my life. I had a garden. I had chickens. I had turkey. Guinea hens. I had geese. Everything. Yeah.
And I see nothing wrong with that. It sounds wonderful.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun.
I know what I want to do one day. I want to go grow watermelons for some reason.
Watermelon.
I do. I just want watermelons for some reason.
One thing with watermelons, if you're really interested in that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is if you're in a really like if you're in Florida or like in a southern area where there's like really hot temperatures, they can rot really easy. The sun can really get at them like really bad, and sometimes you'll see sunspots on them. Basically, one side will be like really yellow, and then you flip around, the other side will be like really green.
Oh, is that why that happens in the stores?
Yeah.
I've always wondered. I'm looking at watermelon in the stores, and they're all yellow on one side.
So try to get your watermelons, plant them in like a shady area, but not to where it's like totally no shade at all, but just a little bit of shade. You know, that way the sun isn't really on it all the time.
So it's not like the sun's not on it all day long, is what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly.
So, well, there you go. If anyone that's watching, there's
little gardening tips from Jason.
There you go. We're growing watermelons.
Yeah.
And did we share this out on Twitter?
Yeah, I shared it out already, both.
All right, perfect.
And Facebook.
So
thank you, one viewer, for watching. It's probably Anthony or Mark Hyder.
Yeah. But you know, this guy, I'm sorry, but come on. There's nothing wrong with what he was doing. The only time I can see the city stepping in, and this I could understand, is if the neighbors were making a big deal on it. The neighbors were like, no, I want nothing to do with this. I want it out of here. It's bothering me. It's annoying me, or whatever. Yeah. Okay, fine. Let's look at this. And then you look at it and see if the neighbor's just being a jerk, or if he does have a legitimate concern.
Exactly. But like I said, it goes back to that thing where I said about, you know, the neighbors might want to start doing this too. What if they start doing it? And also to mention, does he have a big yard? Like, it's not out in the city where he's like got his freaking chickens on top of his roof or
I don't think you necessarily
know?
need a huge yard for anything like that.
Yeah. I mean, how many chickens or rabbits could he have? You know, he also has a garden as well, I believe.
Mm-hmm. But
so, I mean, if he lives in a big old neighborhood where there's like freaking a half an acre to one house or something, you know.
Even if it was on his roof, though, even if it was on his roof, what would be the issue?
If they're in cages, none.
There you go. If they're warranted and they're walking off the roof.
Yeah, exactly. that would be an animal rights issue.
Yeah, animal rights issue, and obviously, you know, the cruelty. Then then you would be breaking the law.
Yeah, animal cruelty. Yeah.
There you go. But that's just the way I see it. This guy. I hope he doesn't get charged, and I hope he is able to continue what he's doing. And if he isn't able to, maybe he'll think about getting out of there. But I'd like to see if that city's gotten any corporate donations recently.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Maybe we should do some research into that. Maybe.
Yeah.
You know, maybe get a little bit of Alex Jones going on.
That's like everything.
Get over in front of their building with a microphone and freaking have a around.
No more lives. But think about this, Jason.
Yeah.
We don't necessarily have bribery now. It's called donations. Everything.
Yeah.
You want the government to do something? Don't vote. Yeah. Donate.
Exactly. And that's
everything is a donation.
So, a lot of people aren't realizing that. They're seeing these big time politicians or whatever donating thousands and $100,000 or whatever. And they're just like, oh, he's so nice. And then, he goes back in his, back office and makes a whole bunch of scams and sells guns.
We are going to help the everyday citizen of whatever country, insert any country. And then, and then the next day, we will be instituting corporate tax breaks for all large companies. They will be slashing all the taxes, but raising the taxes on the middle class.
Yeah, we'll donate money to bail you out, if you're in debt.
Yeah, exactly. But if you go bankrupt, they're not going to help you.
Yeah, you're going to lose your house, you're going to lose your car, your job.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe your family, your wife.
You lose your small business.
What the hell?
But
Cole, we got the. Oh, that's what that video I got to do. The microphones are listening to us up there.
Oh, yeah. That's right. That's right.
No, let's not talk about it on the live show now. Let's do it later on.
Anyways, moving on. I think everyone understands. We think there. Jason, you had something else to say?
I said everything I had to say with that one.
Right on. Okay.
Complete bullshit.
There you go. See, nice and blunt, straightforward. Now, why can't politicians do that instead of using big fancy words no one understands?
And move their hands around like they're.
Hey, welcome back to another News in General live stream. I'm Cole Kruper, hosting tonight's stream, and with us tonight is Jason Goyette, the owner of News in General. I'm the co-owner of News in General. You can follow me on Twitter at CK270, or you can follow Jason on Twitter at Jason Goyette. Tonight we got a whole bunch of things to look at, like Black Friday madness of last week, or it was last week, right? Yeah. Madness of always ensues come Black Friday, right after Thanksgiving, and of course we're going to be looking at First Amendment zones and free speech zones, and just how terrible those are, and we're going to be looking at a few other stupid city ordinance, like how you get a $600 fine and 30 days in jail if you raise chickens in your backyard, and how you get a $115 ticket if you spit on a sidewalk or in a bus area or any public area for that matter.
You get a good loogie going.
Yeah. Don't spit on the sidewalk now.
Yeah.
Yeah, soon it'll be illegal to spit on your own driveway.
Insanity.
So let's kick this thing off with how a man faces 30 days in jail and a $600 fine if convicted for raising chickens. Leo Hendrick is a veteran living in Northwood, Iowa. According to the city, he's violating a city ordinance that bans its residents from raising livestock in the city. The city ordinance that Hendrick is violating states it is unlawful for a person to keep livestock within the city except by written consent of the council or except in compliance with the city's zoning regulations. And that's Northwood City Code Section 55.05. Hendrick moved to Northwood 5 years ago, hoping to lead a healthier life and to become more self-sufficient. Hendrick was doing a pretty good job of just that, growing and raising his own food, almost self-sufficient planting a small garden in his yard, and raising small animals such as chickens and rabbits. Now, when the city found out about his backyard chickens, the sheriff's deputy was sent to his door with a letter demanding that the animals be removed from the property within 10 days. After that, Hendrick presented an amendment version of the ordinance to City Council, which currently prevents him from raising chickens, but that was denied. Even though he did have support from various neighbors, he was told that he should just fit into society, according to StoryLeak.com. Now, neighbors weren't bothered by the fact that he was raising chickens and rabbits in his backyard, so why should the city care? Yeah, I understand they got this dumb...
They're freaking an orchestra or something.
Yeah, I do that too. Anyways.
Not anything against the Italians out there, because I know they love to do their hand moving and all that.
I like it too. I think it,
like
when you're explaining something that gets your point across.
It gets your point across, exactly.
Sure, it exercises my hand too.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on. Spitting on the sidewalk, now a crime, somewhat. Imagine this. You're walking down the sidewalk to get some pizza, and at some point you have to spit. You do that and you move on, and now normally that would be the end of it. You never ever think about it again. But Miles Thomas did exactly that. He spat on the sidewalk on his way to get some pizza, along with his friends, but after he spit, things took an unexpected turn. Police officers gave him a $115 ticket for spitting on the sidewalk. That's correct. Spitting is now a crime in Minneapolis. A city ordinance states you can't spit on sidewalks, bus areas, or in public areas, and if you do so anyways, violating the ordinance, a $115 ticket is what you'll get. And, you know, the guy, Thomas told CBS Albany that I was shocked. I actually was shocked. I was like, wow, you know, I think everybody would be shocked at this, getting a ticket for spitting. You know, evaporate, or in this case, freeze in the snow. So it's not really a problem to anybody.
Yeah.
He says he'll pay the ticket. And the reason, and I said this here, but although it's a stupid ordinance, fighting it kind of would be a waste of time, because would he really win it? Yes, it's a stupid ordinance and it shouldn't exist. But as far as I'm concerned, it should not exist. But fortunately, he's gonna pay it. But what is the problem with spitting on the sidewalk? Do you see a problem with that, Jason? The
problem I could see is if there's like some type of virus breakout or some type of really bad, virus or some type of bug out there, and spreading germs everywhere and stuff like that would help. So I mean, maybe it spreads by that. Maybe.
Well, sneezing should be a crime too, then, Jason.
Oh yeah, because you do. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Coughing should be a crime.
Yeah.
Existing should be a crime, because you spread diseases and illnesses by
Mother
existing.
Nature. We gotta arrest Mother Nature. She's a crime as well.
Hey, those viruses, she created them. She needs to be arrested.
Yeah. She rains on us. That's spit. That's Mother Nature's
there you go.
Right there.
Yeah, I mentioned that to him before we started, but you see, I see your point there. I think maybe they want you to think this, but just about everything we do can spread diseases. Touching things will spread diseases and illnesses. Sneezing does. So